Gonna wait just to make sure. Okay, we should be on YouTube right now. So shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
So we want to say shalom to all the brothers that are here and sisters here in class, and also the ones scattered abroad. We want to salute all the brothers that teach this knowledge. Our brothers and sisters out in Houston, ISBHPK Houston, ISBHPK Virginia. We want to say shalom all to all you brothers, and we want to encourage you to keep up the good work. And a lot of understanding has been coming out of these classes that Houston and Virginia has been given, and we're kind of new on the platform of the classroom. We're kind of new on this platform, but we most definitely want to make sure that we edify the body and everybody walk away with something spiritual food. You know, they're fed spiritually out of these classes. So the class today that we want to deal with is, am I content? That's the class. That's the topic. Am I content? So, because we're going to find out through this class that understanding what it means to be content or not being content can change how you operate in life. It can change the direction that you go in your life. And also it can determine direction. It could determine or affect your relationship with the Most High. It can determine or affect how you live at home, your relationship at home. You know, whether it be with the husband and wife, children, whatever the situation may be. It has a grand effect if we don't understand what being content means biblically. You know, what it means to be content biblically and how we can apply that and put that in action in our everyday life. So that today's topic is about being content. So the first scripture we're going to go to is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6.
1 Timothy chapter 6.
If you got pen and paper, go ahead and write it down.
And verse 6.
All right.
1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 6.
6 and verse 6, right?
Yeah.
Come on. But godliness.
Everybody get it. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. First Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. The topic of the title of the class is, am I content? All right.
Come.
We're going to find out what that means. What does it mean to be content?
Come.
All right. Yeah, everybody got it? All right, read that.
It says, but godliness with contentment.
It says, godliness with what?
Contentment.
Is what?
Is great gain.
So sometimes when we're new to the Bible, even if we're not new to the Bible, we need to be reminded of what this means. Because obviously, the Most High wants you to put these two together. He wants you to put godliness and he wants you to put contentment together. They're meant to be together. Now, we understand godliness as being obedient to the commandments of the Most High. We understand that. But what does that have to do with my situation? Okay, I don't eat pork no more. I understand pork, swine is wrong, bacon is wrong. I don't eat catfish no more. I don't eat shrimp, no scrimps. I don't eat scrimps no more. I don't eat shrimp. You know, I don't eat none of these things no more. I did away with all these things. You know, I understand the law, the Most High, the Sabbath. I honor the Sabbath. I keep it holy. But what is it? Okay, I got all that. But what about being contentment? Where is the law in that? What does that mean? Where's the law of contentment? Because obviously he said, when you have these two things put together, he said it's great what?
Great gain.
He said now you're moving. Now you're working in life. Now you're in motion. Now you can operate properly when you put godliness and contentment together. Now the train is hooked up and the caboose is chugging along.
Come.
Now you become powerful. Now you know where you're going in life. Now life starts to really take off if you can really put these two things together.
Come.
So what is he talking about? So that's something that we have to look at on a deeper scale, because we know what godliness means. Somebody can explain godliness. Godliness is when you're in order with the commandments and the statutes of the Most High. When you're following his laws, you're obedient to his laws, statutes, and commandments. We get that.
This is crazy. The word content in Latin means contentus, which means to be satisfied.
To be what?
To be satisfied. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I never thought,
because
okay, I got to be satisfied.
Yeah, go ahead.
No,
no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I like what you said. But go ahead.
No, it says contentus means to be satisfied. So to be satisfied and godly is great gain.
See, it's one thing to follow the commandments and be in order with the Most High based on his law, statutes, and commandments. But it's another thing to be what?
Satisfied.
Just because you're in the right setting and you're in the right environment
God.
that's conducive to being obedient to the Most High, to prove to the Most High in Christ that yes, I want to follow you. Yes, I want to submit to you because I want to follow your word. But does that still mean that I am what? Am I satisfied? Am I still satisfied in what I'm doing, even though I'm trying to be in order? Now, just to take it a step further, we gotta see where the chapter is beginning, because it's not just being satisfied by following the commandments. Because some will say, you know what? I have a relationship with Jesus. This is I have a personal Jesus. It's all about me and Jesus. It's all about my relationship with Jesus. As long as I got a relationship with Jesus, that's all that matters. I got a relationship with the Most High in Christ. That's all that matters, no matter what you say. But the beginning of this chapter is starting at verse 1. So it's talking about something else. In addition to being satisfied with the commandments of the Most High, which is being godly, to execute the Most High's righteousness. But also, read verse 1.
Verse 1, 1 Timothy 6:1. Let as many servants as are under the yoke.
If under the yoke means you're under having to answer to somebody. You're under some type of restraint or confinement. If you are you have a duty, you have an obligation to somebody. If I'm a child, I have an obligation to follow who? My parents. If I'm a wife, I have a duty or obligation to follow who? My husband. If I'm a brother, if I'm a husband, and I'm a part of this body, then I have a duty or an obligation to follow who?
My elder.
My elders. So it's showing you that being godly and being content is great as long as you understand where it begins. It begins in your own personal situation. So he's saying, read it again.
Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor.
Because sometimes I think I can just serve the Most High, but not do what?
Count their masters.
I don't have to serve who? My master. A lot of times we think we can bypass the individuals that the Most High has us under.
Tutors.
The tutors, the governors, right?
God.
We think we can bypass the tutors and governors and still be content with just serving the Most High, but not being in order. And this is something that he's trying to show us, is that, yeah, being content, being godly and content is good. But you know what being content is? I have to be okay with the people that the Most High gave me to follow. I got to be okay with these individuals. I got to look at my elders, my masters, with the right mentality. So the question is, do I really accept where the Most High has me at? Am I satisfied?
God.
Where the Most High, because that's what the definition of content was, right? To be satisfied. Am I satisfied with the elders that the Most High has provided me? Whether that be my wife, as a parent, the children to the parent, as a wife to the husband, as a husband to the brethren. Am I still content with these individuals? Because if I'm not, we're going to find out in this class, this is when the world of trouble begins. This is when everything in my life starts to get out of order. Because I can say I'm cool with the Most High because I can read the Bible. I'm cool with following His commandments. I know I'm supposed to, do Passover, honor Passover, and wear fringes and honor the Sabbath. I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with these individuals that the Most High got me under.
With the yoke?
With the yoke.
The yoke ain't cool.
The yoke is not cool, man. I don't believe in their discretion. I don't believe in their judgment. I don't believe in their decision making that they have me under. I don't believe that these are the people, this is the person that the Most High wants me to be with and be under. You have to be okay with that, because this is the whole chapter from the beginning. It's not just about being godly and being content, but content with who? I'm reading from the top one more time.
1 Timothy 6:1. Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor, that the name of Yahweh and His doctrine be not blasphemed.
Now, how is that the Most High's name and doctrine be not blasphemed? Because It's what this is saying is the Most High is not going to accept a person that cannot be obedient but still follow his commandments and be okay with that.
Come.
The Most High is not okay with that.
I want my children to obey me, but I obey no one.
Right.
I want people to be subject to me when it's time for me to be an authority and go off my discretion, but I'm under no one else's discretion and supervision.
And scrutiny.
That makes me a hypocrite.
That's a hypocrite. Then I make the Most High look unfair.
Come.
Then I make the Most High look unjust. Then I make the Most High look one-sided. The Most High said, let all things be done how?
Decently and in order.
Decently and in order. There's an order to everything. And I have to be okay with the order that the Most High has established me to follow. If I am a young man and I may have things about my elder that I dislike, is it proper for me to remove me from my circumstance because I'm not okay with it? If I'm a young wife and I'm not okay with the conditions that my husband has me under, do I have the liberty to remove myself from the situation?
In America,
you
not
can.
in God.
Yeah.
You have the liberty to pursue the happiness.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do in
Right.
America.
Right. And in America, a child can divorce his parents.
Yeah. Only in America.
Yeah. Yeah. I can sue him and I can divorce him at like 13. You know what I'm saying?
It's over.
Yeah.
Dad.
These days of following you, clean your own room. You vacuum. I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So what the Most High is showing is being content is also a large portion of it is being okay with the people that the Most High got you under. That's a heavy aspect of being content. Because the definition of content, let me get it. And then somebody read.
I got one too.
Yeah, somebody read. Give me 1 Timothy 5:17 too. Let me read
5
that.
and 17. Come.
Yeah. Read that.
1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 17. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor.
It says, but being content and being godly is the fact that I can look at my elders, whether it be my husband, whether it be my parents, you know what I'm saying, whether it be a stepdad or stepmom, not even my real mom, not even my real dad, but I still got to look at them as what? Because who put them in my life? Technically, the Most High put them in my life. He ultimately did that. That was his determination, his decision. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us grow up with step parents. A lot of us have other people, other individuals that raise us. But you know what? You're not my dad, so you can't tell me what to do. You're not my mom, you can't tell me what to do. But you know what? If this individual is paying these bills, they're keeping them lights on, they're keeping that rent going. Every school year, you got some new shoes. You got a new backpack. You ain't rocking the same JanSport with the holes at the bottom with the pencil that pencil stick through. All the zippers are broken. You got your new backpack, new shoes. You know what I'm saying? A little change in your pocket. But you ain't my dad. I don't listen to you. You don't tell me what to do. Give me some money so I can go get my driver's license. Right? Go teach me how to drive, sucker. You don't get to be out of order.
Oh, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? You don't get to be out of order. But he said, if I have a master, a stepmom, stepdad, or a real dad, real mom, or a brother in Christ that's there to show me how to operate, how to think, that gives me counsel, that oversees my decision making. He said, I'm still supposed to do what? Read that again.
Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy
of what?
Of double honor.
I'm supposed to give them what?
Double honor.
I'm supposed to be there for double. You know why? Because any crisis, at all the moments of crisis in my life, who's always there to give me instruction?
The elders.
Them elders. Them elders are always there at all the crisis moments. At my worst damn times. Whether it's my grandma died, my mother died, you know what I'm saying, I break up, kids pass, whatever the situation is, they're always there to provide me the right understanding or the right perspective on a look at a house, on how to look at a situation. They're always there to uplift me in my falls, in my failures, or my misunderstandings. They're always there. I can depend on them. I can lean on them. They're faithful. So why can't I look at them as being what? Worthy of what?
Of double honor.
So being content in the Most High is having the right perspective towards the individuals and the condition that the Most High has you in. It's not just the fact that I can read the Bible and follow the Most High. Good. But can you look at your elders correctly? Can you look at the ones that the Most High got you around? Can you look at them worthy of double honor? Because they never flaked on you.
Huh.
They never left you hanging. Anytime you needed, they was always there. You can say what they're not and what they're not in your opinion, but you can't deny what they've done, and you can't deny their participation and the help that they provide you. So being content in the Most High is learning how to look at the people the Most High got me under. If I don't like my brother, my elders, the Most High is not honoring me. That's the beginning of my troubles. If I'm a wife, I don't like my husband. That's the beginning of my troubles. If I'm a parent or child, I don't like my parents. That's the beginning of my troubles. And that's what we're going to read in this class today. Being content is just going further than just saying, I can read the Most High. I know what godliness is. We can all read about godliness. But can you look at the people around you with the right perspective? He said worthy of what?
Of double honor.
Go ahead.
Especially they who work, who labor in the word.
And especially those that do what?
Labor in the word.
They labor in the word. They dedicate themselves to executing and teaching the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. They make that their business. Read on.
And doctrine.
And they're there to teach me and to educate me in the Most High. Now go back to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 1 and 2.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 1 and verse 2. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 1 and verse 2. Let as many servants as are under the yoke. You know what the truth of it is? We're all under the yoke. Each and every one of us is under a yoke. There's nobody in here or that's listening in the world that's not under some type of yoke. They're not under some type of accountability. They have to be accountable. And you have to be accountable for somebody else. For yourself first and foremost. Because you know what? Even if I'm without a husband and I'm a single woman or a single man, I still can't misrepresent Christ. I still can't misrepresent the Most High through my actions. I'm still accountable for my actions. Even if I don't have a wife or a husband, I still can't misrepresent him. I'm still under some type of yoke, even if I'm single. Even if I'm an adult and I moved out of my mother's house, I don't want to misrepresent my parents. I don't want to do things that make them look bad. I don't want to bring a stain on their honor. I don't want to make my mom and dad look bad, as if they never taught me anything. I'm still under some type of yoke. So there's still an expectation that I got to carry myself a certain way. And in this expectation that Paul's explaining, learning how to be content is very important. Being content is being okay with the condition that I'm in, whether it's my mother got me under this condition, or my father's got me under this condition, or whether these elders got me under this condition. And we have to kind of look at the situation and say, am I lacking anything? Are they at least taking care of me in some type of way? Read on down. Their own masters worthy of all honor, that the name of the Most High and his doctrine be not blasphemed.
Read verse 2.
And they that have believing masters, let them not despise them.
And if I got a master that believes in the Most High, then I really got to pay attention to their instruction. I really got to adhere to what they're trying to tell me to do. I really want to dedicate myself to their instruction. I really want to be obedient. Read on.
Because they are brethren, but rather do them service, because they are faithful and beloved, partakers of the benefit. These things teach and exhort.
So a lot of times what we're not content is, especially in a camp structure, We're not content with who gets to tell me to do what I don't want to do. Who has that authority and that liberty to give me instruction? That's what we're not content. Now, definition of the word content. We have it right. Write this down. Very, very important. Definition of the word content. Content.
Content. Verse 1?
Yeah, right here.
Okay. Literally held contained within limits.
So I allow my elders to put what on me?
Limits.
I allow the elders, my husband, my parents, elder brothers, elder sisters, I let them dictate the what?
Limits.
I let them dictate the limits. I let them dictate my coming and going, where I should be, at what time. I let them dictate my instruction. Where should I be going? What should I be focused on? I let them dictate the limits. And if I'm not allowing them to dictate the limits, I'm not content. I'm not satisfied. It says, literally held, contained within limits. Go ahead.
Hence, quiet.
I'm quiet. How do I know I'm content?
Quiet.
I'm not talking back. I don't always have my opinion. I don't always have something to say every time my elder is giving me instruction. Read on.
Not disturbed.
I'm not bothered by anything. It doesn't bother me to receive instruction from my elder. It doesn't bother me to receive instruction from my husband. It doesn't bother me to receive instruction from the brothers. Go ahead.
Having a mind at peace.
And this is what brings about what?
Peace.
Go ahead.
Easy.
Go ahead. This makes life what?
Easy.
Being content with the people that the Most High got you with makes your life what?
Easy.
It makes your life easy. I even like how you say easy. Read that one more time.
Easy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So it's telling you your life will be so much better if you learn how to be content. Being content is having the right perspective to the ones who you allow to control you, who you submit yourself as a servant to. It makes your life what?
Easy.
And what?
Satisfied.
And that's ultimately where you'll be at. Satisfied. Go ahead.
So as not to repine, object, or oppose.
Now, read this definition of content.
Content. To satisfy the mind.
Hold on.
Okay, see.
Hold on. Right here.
Okay. Rest or quietness of the mind in the present condition.
Bingo. See, being content is about being at rest or at peace or not to be tripping in the head at your what?
In the present condition.
It has everything to do with your condition. It has everything to do with your circumstance. You know what we want to do? If you look at the history of the Bible, the children of Israel came out of Egypt, wandered through the desert, and all they did was complain at who? Moses. They just watched miracles. You just watched miracles, and you just watched your salvation come by walking on dry ground in the splitting and parting of the Red Sea. And you still get to the other side, and you still complain about your what?
Conditions.
You still complain about your condition. This is the beginning of getting out of order with the Most High. This is the beginning of it. The beginning of getting out of order with the Father is when everybody starts looking at their own personal condition and they're not at peace with it. This is the beginning of you going out of order as a wife, out of order as a child, out of order as a brother or a sister. It's the beginning of it. Because as soon as you're not at peace at your condition, your mind starts to say, well, I need to do what? I need to change my condition.
Find those peaceful conditions.
I need to do something about my present condition. I need to alter my condition because I'm not satisfied with my condition. I'm not satisfied being under these individuals or the individual that I'm under. So because of that, I'm looking to deviate. I'm looking to change my circumstance. I'm looking for a way out. I'm looking for an alternative.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a back door. I'm looking for a means to find some type of peace because I'm not at peace in this situation. So I got to go find my own peace. I got to go find my own happiness. Because ultimately, that's what it comes down to as well. Read that definition of content again.
Content, rest or quietness of the mind in the present condition.
In the present what?
Condition.
And we have to learn how to be content or at rest or at peace with your current condition. Nobody likes the condition that they're in. Hardly ever do you find people that are at peace with their circumstance. Hardly, that's rare. That's very rare to find people that are happy with their condition. Very rare. Hard to find. Hard to come by somebody that's joyous about where they are in life. Read on.
It says, and often implying a moderate degree of happiness.
It says, no, right here. Present condition, satisfaction.
Okay. Satisfaction, which holds the mind in peace.
It says, when you're content, there's a certain level of satisfaction that you have that keeps your mind from wandering. It keeps your mind from going astray. It keeps your mind from looking for a way out. Or it keeps your mind from beginning to be proactive. I don't like this, so I got to do something about it. I better do something about it because I don't like this. I don't like where I'm at. Now I start looking for, the back door. I'm trying to exit stage left. Now I'm trying to change it. I'm trying to alter it because I don't like it. Read on.
Restraining complaint.
And if I'm content, it restrains me from what?
Complaining.
This is the beginning of everything. If I'm content, if I'm really content with the Most High, in particular, the people that the Most High got me under, then I should have nothing to say about those individuals. Nothing. But if I got a complaint about how somebody does something who the Most High put me under, then I'm not being content.
This is bad. It says restraining complaint.
Complaint or what else?
Opposition.
Or I'm at what?
Opposed.
I'm always opposed. I'm always argumentative. I always got something to say. There's always a but. The sister told me to be there at 7:30 for sewing, but what about when they're not on time? The brother told me to make sure I call and give me a 6:30 phone call. But he don't give 6:30 phone calls. There's always a but, man. Everybody that got a but, everybody that has an opposition, everybody that has a complaint, they're not really content on their circumstance. And they're not content at the people that the Most High, or with the people that the Most High has them under. Read on.
Or further desire.
Go ahead.
And often implying a moderate degree of happiness.
And if you are content, guess what comes with contentment?
A moderate degree of happiness.
Being content teaches you how to be happy in your situation. This is what everybody has to learn. Because you know what? We'll say we love the Most High. We'll say we love Christ all day long. But we'll complain and complain and complain about the people that the Most High got us around. I thought you loved Christ, though. I thought you loved the Most High, though. So if you love the Most High in Christ, why not love the individuals that he got you under? Why not look at them with the right perspective? Because, you know what we got to look at? Are they taking care of my needs? If they're taking care of my needs, then I should have nothing to say. I should learn how to be quiet. Now, hold that. Now go back to 1 Timothy chapter 6 and read verse 6 again.
Okay. 1 Timothy 6 and verse 6. But godliness with contentment.
And that particular contentment is being content with the condition the present condition that I'm in, that the Most High got me in, under those particular elders and individuals that the Most High got me around. Read on.
Is great gain.
And if you can do that, now you're taking off in the spirit. Now you're doing great works. Now you can do great works in the spirit of the Most High in Christ. Read on.
For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
Go ahead.
And having food and raiment.
And having what?
food and raiment.
Food and raiment. Raiment. Go ahead. Which is clothing. Go ahead.
Let us be therewith content.
It says that's being content is, did my elders make sure I was eating? I may not like the condition, but I have to look at the condition and say, you know what? Did my husband make sure I eat every day? I may not like what he's saying, but to help aid the mind and to subjugate the mind, I got to look at, is he, as at least as a husband, is he at least feeding me? Every time I open the refrigerator, is there at least some food to eat? Do I have some clothes to put on? Or am I leaving the house naked? Am I leaving the house and I'm butt naked leaving the house? Does he got me out with no clothes, no shoes? Is he leaving me hanging? Is the brothers leaving me hanging? Do they make sure I eat? If I can look at them and say, well, yes, my basic needs are being taken care of, then I should shut my mouth. If my basic needs are met, then there should be nothing that I should have to say in opposition to my leaders. There should be nothing in opposition that I have to say towards my husband. There should be nothing in opposition that I should have to say towards my parents. Because at least I got clothes. At least I got food. It could be a lot worse. And he said, and if my elders are providing that, not only that, but we got believing masters. Not only are they providing food and clothing, but they're also providing instruction and counsel and guidance through the scriptures. Read on.
It says, but they that
hold on. It said right there, right? It says, verse 9, one more time.
Verse 9. But they that will be rich fall into temptation.
Is that verse 9?
That's verse 9.
Read verse 8. Verse 8. Because we're going to get to verse 9.
Okay.
I don't want to read too far.
Okay. And having food and raiment, let us therewith be content.
Okay. He said having food and raiment, let us be there what?
Therewith content.
Now, it's a script. It's a verse I want real quick. Give me Luke chapter 22, verse 35 and 36. Give me Luke chapter 22. Yeah, 35 and 36.
Luke chapter 22 and verse 35.
Go ahead.
And he said unto them, when I sent you without purse.
This is Christ talking to his disciples, right? This is Christ talking to his disciples, his students. He said, when I sent you without what?
Without purse.
Somebody give me, hold that, just so for those that don't know what he's talking about. Go to Matthew chapter 10, verse 1. Matthew 10 and 1. Somebody read. Somebody, whoever got it.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 1. And when he called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits.
Go ahead.
To cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
So as Christ was giving them spiritual power, because that's what Christ was giving his disciples. He was showing them how to do what?
Heal all manner of sickness.
He was giving them the power, spiritual power, to heal all manner of what?
Sickness.
What else?
And all manner of disease.
Go ahead.
Now the names of the 12 apostles are these.
Now jump down to verse 5 and 6.
Verse 5. These 12 Yahweh sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
Go ahead.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Read on.
And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Read on.
Heal the sick.
And what did Christ gave them the power to do it. So he gave them the power to heal the sick. So he says, go to these people, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and heal their sick. Go ahead.
Cleanse the lepers.
Go ahead.
Raise the dead.
Read on.
Cast out devils.
Read on.
Freely ye have received, freely give.
As I've given you this ability, freely give it to other people. Read on.
Provide neither gold.
He said, but don't take with you what?
Gold.
Don't take no money with you. Because this job that I'm showing you how to do requires no money, but it requires obedience. You have to be obedient in order to receive the power that Christ has given to his disciples. You have to know how to follow instruction. And if you follow instruction and you listen to my instruction, I'll show you how to cast out demons. I'll show you how to cleanse the lepers, heal the sick, and raise the dead. All it takes is obedience. It don't take money to do this job. Read on.
Nor silver.
It don't take silver. It don't take money. Go ahead.
Nor brass in your purses.
It don't take dollars. You don't have to have a stable economy or stable financial situation, or your money has to be right to do the work of Christ. Because you know what a lot of people's complaint is? I'm doing all this work in Christ, but how much are we going to get paid? How much y'all paying me to do this? That's what it becomes to be about. Because that becomes the reason why a lot of people aren't content with the truth. Because it doesn't pay enough. Because I don't get it. That's sometimes everybody's worry. You're doing all this work in Christ. You're hardly ever home. You're always with the brothers. You hardly ever got a chance to take care of my needs. You're never really there for me. I'm saying this as a wife's complaint. You're hardly ever home. You're always there with the brothers. You give me a little bit of time. And what? And you don't even make no money. How we gonna pay these bills? How we gonna take care of this? How we gonna take care of these bills? Is all that work paying out? Is it bringing something financial back in return?
Faith gonna pay our bills.
Is faith gonna pay your bills? Read on.
Verse 10. Nor script for your journey.
And there's no preparation for this. Read on.
Neither two coats.
Go ahead.
Neither shoes, nor yet staffs.
Go ahead.
For the workman is worthy of his meat.
He said, if you just follow my instruction, and you become obedient, and you put the work in, I'll show you you'll be taken care of. If you do what I tell you to do, you'll be fine. If you're content with what I'm telling you. Yeah. then you'll be fine. You'll be taken care of. But now let that go. Now let's go back to where we at in Luke so we understand what he's talking about.
Luke chapter 22 and verse 35. And he said unto them.
He was reminding his disciples. He was reminding them of something. Read on.
When I sent you without purse.
Like we're reading in Matthew 10. When I sent you out there with no money. And I sent you out there with no coats and no shoes. And you was barefoot. Go ahead.
And script.
And you didn't have a script. Go ahead.
And shoes.
Go ahead.
Lack ye anything?
Did you lack anything? That's what Christ had to remind his disciples. A lot of times we have to remind the ones that are under us. Because they're not what? They're not content. So they got to be reminded, hey, your needs were taken care of. That's why Christ is reminding his disciples. Did you lack anything? Once. Yeah. No money. Not enough. That's the problem. It's not enough money. It's not enough money to satisfy the things that I want. But I'm not okay. I'm not at peace. I'm not at ease. And I'm not happy with my present condition. That's why Christ had to remind them, did you lack anything? Go ahead.
And they said nothing.
And they said what?
Nothing.
Did they eat every day?
God.
They obviously they found some type of shoes. Obviously somebody hooked them up with a coat. It just wasn't the coat that they wanted. It wasn't the shoes that they wanted. You know what? The ungrateful kids, they don't like the shoes they got on because they wanted the Jordans. They wanted the LeBrons. But you gave me kids. Be embarrassed. Be embarrassed to go to school, man. You got Shaqs on. You got the Shaqs on and the N1s on, and everybody's like, "What are those?" You know what I'm saying? You know how these kids be making fun of shoes. What are those that you got on? Where did you find those? Yeah,
they found you.
You know what I'm saying?
Old Navy.
Yeah, Old Navy shoes, man. They ain't got no name on them. They just say shoes.
They have laces.
Yeah.
Be
You know
happy.
what? But that's well, you know what?
Yeah, yeah.
I can laugh at it because I grew up like this. I grew up with having no name shoes. Pro Wings, for those that know. But you know what? I've been known to throw out outdated stuff that people don't recognize. So I'm trying to refrain. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll show how old I am. But you know what? I'm gonna say it. In third grade, from Payless, because that's where you got the Pro Wings from. The Pro Wings came from Payless. My mom bought me some shoes that they were cleats on the bottom. I wore cleats to school as a regular shoe. And you can hear me walking in the hallway. Because I had on cleats. And ain't nothing worse than wearing cleats and you ain't playing football. You're not in no sports. But you got on some cleats. Ain't nothing worse than that.
That's bad. That's pretty hardcore.
That's bad. So I can say that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to rock it. And you got to be ready to slap somebody across the face to make fun of you. Because there's no way in hell you're going to be content. But a lot of times, you'll find yourself back in that same situation. You don't get what you want. You don't have what you think you should have. You don't have what you feel like you deserve. And because of it, I'm not satisfied at my present condition. And if I can't be satisfied at my present condition, there's something wrong with my ability to look at the Most High the right way. That's the beginning of me making mistakes. And this is why Christ had to remind his disciples what? Listen, man, I did send you out there with no money. I did send you out there to the world with no money, no purse, no script. I didn't give you no preparation. You didn't have a script. I didn't make it easy on you. Having a script to go knock on doors, it's like when you're selling a product door to door. Hello, how you doing? I work for such and such sanitation company. We have a special going right now, $29.99. We can take out your trash. We can cut your grass. We can do your lawn. Yeah, it makes it easy on you. It's a script. But when you're in Christ said, I sent you out with no script. You just got to go teach the word and make it work. You have to make it work.
Make it work. Make it happen.
You better tell people the kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's all you need. That is your script. Christ, you know what? The kingdom of God is coming. Prepare yourself. And you better do whatever you got to do in order to distribute that word. There's no prep. I didn't make it easy for you. That's what Christ is saying. I didn't make it easy for you. That's the purpose of the script. You don't have to think. Well, you know what he's saying? You do have to think. And when you do have to think, you still got to learn how to be in order. Read on. Read that again, as a matter of fact.
Luke chapter 22 and verse 35. And he said unto them, when I sent you without purse and script and shoes, lack ye anything?
Did you lack anything? You may not got the shoes you want. You may not got the outfit you want. You may not got the easy life that you want. But did you eat? Did you have a coat on? Did somebody give you some shoes? Did somebody give you a coat? Well, you know what? What did the disciples say?
Nothing.
We lack nothing. So you know what Christ is reminding them of? Then you shouldn't complain. Then you're in the right place. There should be nothing altering your mind as long as you at least got some shoes, as long as you at least got some clothes, and you got a damn meal on the table. Then what should be the problem? What's the problem? Where's the issue? What's the issue? And that's what we're going to find out. What is the issue? Why are we still complaining? Why are we still unhappy at our present condition? If we eating every day and we got clothes every day. What's the problem? What's wrong? You know what? I don't like the elders. I don't like the fact that they dictate my coming and going. They dictate my schedule. They dictate what I have and what I don't have. They dictate what day I should have off and what day I don't have off. What we want is control. And that's what we want. We want control. Control of our circumstance is the main propeller of us operating out of our own agenda. Me having control. Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. And so what Christ is saying in Luke is, you didn't lack anything. Read on.
Then said he unto them, but now
He
ye
said,
that have a purse.
now I sent you out initially with nothing, with no money. I sent you out initially with no script, no preparation. I sent you out initially with no shoes and coats or staff to lean on, no support. He says, but now I'm doing what?
He that hath a purse, let him take it.
He says, now that if you got a purse, now take it out. Now go out there with money. Go ahead.
And likewise, his script.
And now if you have a script, go ahead. Read on.
And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one.
So now what Christ is doing is telling them what to do now. When before, I gave you no control to take these things out, because what I was trying to get you to learn was experience and trust. I was trying to get you to learn how to trust me and follow me. But now that I see that you know how to trust me and you know how to follow me, now go ahead and take money with you. Do you give money to somebody that you can't trust with money? It's bad. Make bad money decisions? Do I hand my kids money if they make bad decisions?
Nope.
You know when I start handing my kids money? When I can trust them. I don't care how bad my kid want to borrow my car. I don't trust your driving. I don't trust your decision making. I don't trust your speed control. I don't trust the friends you hang with that's going to have you doing all kind of things in the car. Why should I give you my keys? Why should I let you drive my car? I don't trust you. But you know who gets to drive the car? You know who get the keys? That kid that's trusted. They're responsible. They're accountable. They have experience following. They know how to be obedient. They've proven that they know how to follow no matter what the situation is. When you say, hey, I need you home by 9 o'clock, you can look out the window, it's 8:59, and you can peek out the window, and the car's pulling up in the driveway. That's my boy. That's my boy right there. Hey, that's my boy, man. He can get the car whenever he wants. Because he's proven to be what? Trustworthy, faithful. So with Christ, but you know what? That until that time comes, if I have the wrong perspective, I'm bitching and complaining. If I have until that time of trust being established, that's when we complain. How come you don't give me the credit card? How come you don't let me spend the money? I don't trust you yet. You haven't learned. You haven't shown or proven that you deserve the freedom or liberty to utilize the credit card. Because you know what, in a young relationship, I can only look at my own. In a young relationship, who spends the money is a big issue. Shit, that ain't no young relationship. That's any relationship. That's it. Let me stop lying, man. Let me stop lying. That's any relationship. That's all relationships. Who gets to make the financial decisions? You know what? That's always a big issue. Half the time people divorce because of money. You know what I'm saying? But it's really because of what? Lack of contentment. That's what causes split-ups. Lack of contentment. Remember, the contentment means to be satisfied with my present condition. To have some sort of happiness. Some degree of happiness available. Because I'm happy at my situation. But people that aren't happy in this situation, that's when, like I said, that's when the problems come. That's when the issues come. For example, go to 2 Kings chapter 5. And this is what Christ, you see how Christ had initially sent out his disciples with nothing? And then he came back, read it. Then he came back and told them, listen, now I want you to go ahead and go buy a sword. Sell your garment and buy a sword. Now I want you to take your money with you. You know what I'm saying? What Christ was doing, he was dictating and he was exercising control over his disciples. Telling them what to take and what not to take. When to take it. How to take it. He was dictating the control of his disciples. Everybody that's in servitude or has somebody to answer to should be able to give up that control to allow their master to have that liberty to dictate their life. Everybody should be able to do that. Because that's what Christ was doing with his disciples. Go to 2 Kings chapter 5 verse 10.
God. 2 Kings chapter 5 and verse 10.
Hold on, let me get it because I might want you to read up a little bit.
God.
This is the messenger.
2 Kings chapter 5. Start at verse 8.
Verse 8. And it was so when Elisha, the man of the Most High, had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes?
No, read. That's too much.
Okay.
Go to So basically, I don't want to read the whole thing. Basically, Naaman had leprosy. Leprosy is when you lose the pigmentation in your skin. When the natural melanin that you're supposed to have starts to erode and become white, and you lose your melanin pigmentation. This is the curse of leprosy. This is the punishment. This is a disease. And also in the scriptures, there's a curse.
Come.
So he said when Naaman was stricken with leprosy, he went to Elisha, the man of God, and to heal his leprosy. And Elisha has a servant, a disciple, a student named Gehazi. So I'm just catching everybody up on this story. Read on, jump up to verse 15.
Verse 15.
So basically, now that Naaman is healed from this leprosy, he wants to pay Elisha a gift. He wants to give Elisha some money as a way of saying thank you for healing my leprosy. Right? Read on.
And he returned to the man of the Most High, he and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, behold, now I know that there is no Most High in all the earth, but in Israel. Now therefore, I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant.
He said, I'm praying. So Naaman is praying that Elisha take a payment for his healing. Go ahead.
But he said, as the Lord liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none.
But Elisha said, I don't want payment. You give the glory of this healing, give it to the Most High. I don't want nothing for this. Just like Christ said, freely as you receive,
freely give.
Freely give. He said, man, I healed you. Don't worry about it. Go your way. Just give the glory to the Most High. Read on.
And he urged him to take it.
Take it.
Please take this money.
Listen, I got the money. Just take it.
The money's not a problem. I got more money. This is a king.
God.
So money is not a problem. This is his way of saying thank you. So Elisha's like, listen, man, I don't need the money. It's all good, man. You know what? What good is money when you have the power to heal sickness? Money really don't mean nothing, right? It don't really mean nothing. You have something greater than money. So Elisha's like, man, I don't want the money. Read on.
But he refused. And Naaman said, shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules, burden of earth?
Then let me give you 2 mules so you can till the ground. Let me give you 2 cars, man.
Yeah,
I got 2
trucks for you.
2 trucks for you. I got 2 trucks.
Mule like mule gets it done.
2 Mustangs. Man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other powers, but unto the Lord.
So Naaman said, man, I'm from this day on, I'm dedicated to the Most High from this point on in my life. You convinced me that I should worship God and God alone.
He's indebted to the Most High, not the prophet.
Exactly. Read on.
In this thing, the Lord pardon thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Ramon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Ramon, when I bow down myself in the house of Ramon.
So he said, man, he was admitting that he was worshiping idolatry. Read on.
The Lord pardon thy servant in this thing.
Go ahead.
And he said unto him, go in peace. So he departed from him a little way.
Go ahead. So he took off. So Elisha said, man, don't worry about it. You don't owe me nothing. Go your way. Now you believe in the Most High. That's all that matters. Go your way. Read on.
But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha.
And Gehazi is the servant, the understudy, or the disciple, the student of Elisha.
He's under the yoke.
The servant of Elisha, the man of the Most High, said, behold, my master hath spared Naaman this Syrian, in not receiving at his hands that which he brought. But as the Lord liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him.
Now, what propelled Gehazi to take it upon himself to say, well, since my master don't want the money, since my master he refused it, he didn't see nothing, he didn't say the good in it, but I see the good in the money. I could probably have better use of this money. What convinced the student who is supposed to be under the disciple to go after the money? Bingo.
If it ain't about the money.
You know what I'm saying?
all about the vision.
If it ain't
You know
about the
that?
money.
So he said, listen, man, we know what propels a person, what motivates a person or incites a person to chase something that their master said don't worry about. It's the lack of being at peace with my present condition. This is what cause a person to get out of order with their master just to go chase a dollar, just to go chase an opportunity. This is what propels people to get out of order, as if the Most High would pay honor to that, as if the Most High would be obliged with that move, and be okay with the fact that you departed being under the administration, under the authority of the elders that I put you under, just to go chase a dollar. And you think I'm going to be okay with that? But what propels a person to do that? To tell themselves that it's okay to get out of order and go chase money? It's the fact that I'm not content. I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy. I'm not at peace with where the Most High got me at. And in particular, I'm not at peace with the people the Most High got me following. Because these people got me struggling. Because that's what Gehazi is saying. Man, we over here eating beans and rice.
You throwing away 2 oxen.
And we got 2 oxes. We can make some oxtails. We can at least eat them.
Yeah.
If not use them, we can make good use of these oxes. Right?
Yeah.
But read on.
So Gehazi followed after Naaman, and when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him and said, "Is all well?"
Is it all good?
Everything all right? Read on.
And he said, "All is well. My master have sent me."
He said what?
Have sent me.
No,
my
said,
master
he
have
lied.
sent
He
me.
lied. He lied. He lied, man. He lied and he lied.
Yeah.
He said, as if he possessed the mind. He said, I have the mind of my elder. Me and my elder have the same mind. It was my elder's wishes. It was my elder's desire.
The credit card.
I got permission from my elder to use this credit card, which my elder told me it was only for bills. That happens in the household. You get your kids money for lunch, you tell them only use this money for lunch. How you come back with some baseball cards? You got baseball cards, but did you eat? Oh yeah, I drank a soda. So what'd you do with the lunch money? Well, see, they were selling these cards, and I just decided to collect. I'm a card collector. You know what I'm saying?
God.
I gave you money to pay the car note, but you went shopping on it. They had a sale. They had 75% off. You just couldn't resist.
Couldn't pass
It
it
was
up.
on clearance.
It was on clearance. So it's because it's on clearance, it should be okay because it was on clearance. At least I wasn't just spending. I figured we need these things. You know, see how people twist up things to justify their decision making? People twist up things because initially they're not content at their circumstance. People start to twist the truth about situations to change their situation, to make their situation better because they're not happy with their situation. This is what somebody does that's not content. Read on.
Saying, "Behold, even now there be come to me from the Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments."
Read on.
And Naaman said, "Be content."
Be what?
Wow.
Content.
You know what? Don't worry. Be satisfied. I got you. I'm going to do something that makes you happy, man. Be at peace, man. Don't worry about it. I got you. I'm going to take care of you. But you know what the real issue was? He wasn't content from the beginning. He wasn't content from the jump. That's why he chased this man down for a payment. Read on.
Take 2 talents, and he urged him, and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of garments, and laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they buried them before him.
Go ahead.
And when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house.
So Gehazi took all this payment that he got from the Ammon. He took it all and he hid it in the house. He stashed it in the house first. Read on.
And he let them, and he let the men go, and they departed.
Go ahead.
But he went in and stood before his master.
And he went in. He came home and stood before his master. Read on.
And Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou?
Where you coming from? Where you coming from?
Oh, sweaty eye.
Now, yeah, you sweating. You got a different look about you. Cause your countenance is changing. Where you coming from? What you been up to? Where'd you go? You didn't even tell me where you was going. You just dipped out. You just dipped. You didn't tell me where you was up. Where you going? What you doing? Read on.
Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither.
What is he saying?
I'm going nowhere.
I ain't going nowhere, man. I was in the yard.
I was just around the corner.
I was outside, man. I was just at the crib.
Yeah.
I ain't going nowhere. You know what? This is the beginning. You're watching the unraveling of a person because they're not content. This is the unwinding of a person's integrity. This is the unwinding of a person's faithfulness. This is the unwinding of a person's trust. You're watching the beginning of the breaking of trust. You're watching the beginning of the deterioration of a person. When a person is not content, they start to deteriorate. And it's no wonder that they start to lie. It's no wonder that they start making moves without permission. It's no wonder that they start seeking wealth on their own accord. Of course, a person's going to start doing all these things because they start to deteriorate and to decay as a person. Anytime you're not content at the situation that you're in, nor the people that the Most High got you under, you begin to dissolve as a person. You begin to change as a person. You become corrupted as a person. Read on.
And he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee?
With heart meaning what?
Mine.
He said, when you left and didn't tell me where you was going, did you take my mind with you? Yeah. Did you do what I would do?
Keep it training?
Yeah, did you exactly? Were you obedient to my will? Did you exercise my will when you left the house this morning? Because that's what every parent wants to know to their child. Did you execute and take my thoughts and my discipline? Did you take my mind with you when you went to school this morning? As a wife, from a husband, when you went to work this morning, did you take my mind with you? When you went with your friends, when you went to go hang out with your cousins, did you take my mind with you when you was with your family? Was you going to execute my will? Did you think like me? Because that's what every single person should be learning how to do, is think like their elders. And being satisfied with the condition that their elder has them in. The reason why Gehazi made this move, he wasn't satisfied at the condition that Elisha had him under. He felt it was a little hard. Read on. When
The man turned again from his chariot to meet thee.
That busted. Read on.
Is it a time to receive money?
Now think about what Elisha just told Gehazi, his servant. Now we just read that Christ sent his disciples out broke, no money, no purse, no staff, no shoes, no coats. And then after a while, he came back and told them, now you go send, if you have a purse, take it with you. Now if you have a script, take it with you. Now if you have a garment, sell it and go get a sword. Now I'm going to tell you what to do. Now his showing that the disciples of Christ allowed Christ to change their circumstance upon his request.
To mold them.
It was upon Christ's request that they went and did with the money, either went out broke or went out with money. That control they gave to Christ as being his disciples. And that's all that Elisha is asking Gehazi. Is your timing and how you look at your situation, is it based upon my control? Is it based upon my discretion? Is it based upon my wishes? That's why he asked him what again? He said, is it what?
Is it a time to receive money?
That time should be given by your who?
Your elders.
So if your elders tell you, hey, I think it's time for you to go get a job, then what should you be doing?
Go get a job.
Go get a job. They say, hey, man, you need to make more money. Hey, you need to level up a little bit. You need to get out of that 750. You need to get to 9, 10. I need you to get to about 12, 15 an hour or something. I need you to go back to school because you're in a dead end job. So I need you to go out and make some more money. So cool. Whatever my elders see fit, I have to be content with that. Or if your elders say, you know what, cool that you know what, I need you to quit that job because they're disrespecting you. But I'm making good money though.
Yeah.
But I'm making good money though. But you know, my money's good.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. But they got you working crazy hours. And you can't execute what I need you to do at home as a wife. Because I ran into these issues. Me as a brother, I ran into these issues. Although this money's good, although the opportunity looks great, but you can't fulfill what I need you to fulfill. So in retrospect, I need you to reconsider that job, either ask them for a different shift, or you got to let that go. Now, you know, as a servant, as a servant, I'm supposed to do what?
Be content.
I'm supposed to be content with the elders' instruction.
I got a post script. I do have scripts.
Yeah, go ahead.
I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Probably Proverbs 15
Go ahead.
and 17.
You give me that look. You give me that look like I got something. My wallet. Whoever got it, read it. Yeah.
Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 7.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
The lips of the wise disperse knowledge.
No. That's Proverbs 15 and verse 17.
17. Slack. Verse 17. Better is a dinner of herbs.
So this is about eating. We're at a table together. It's a relationship. It's two people. It's two people that are engaging in a dinner. Better is a dinner of what?
Of herbs.
Herbs means you're getting arugula,
Spinach.
you're getting spinach, garlic, right? You're getting just plants. You're getting some kale, some dinosaur kale if you're lucky, right? It might not be cooked. It's herbs. It's green.
Yeah.
All right, read on.
Where love is.
But where what? What's the condition?
Where love is.
It's better to have kale, some arugula, some lettuce, hopefully not iceberg lettuce. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, there ain't no nutritional value, right?
Right.
But where the condition of what?
Where love is.
Where love is. Well, there's true trust because there's that contentment. There's that satisfaction. I'm satisfied with you. You're satisfied with me. We're in this together and we're building towards greater. We have a common goal. We have a common connection. Mm-hmm. We are building. We are committed to our goal as a couple, as a relationship, as a family, as a unit.
So does no, go ahead.
Read on.
Then a stalled ox.
So this is better, but there's a what?
Then a stalled ox.
Now you have a plate of some lettuce, and you got a nice Angus beef steak, black Angus beef out.
Mm-hmm.
Cooked right, A1 seasoning. Filet mignon. The best of the best. It smells good. It's sizzling off the grill.
It's butterfly.
With the baked potato.
With the baked potato, right? All the trimmings, bro. And it smells good. And you got the best sauce. You got that Worcestershire sauce.
You have asparagus.
Yeah,
asparagus.
Yeah, nice asparagus. You can say you're getting your plants in.
Buttered and grilled asparagus.
Yeah, buttered and grilled asparagus with the garlic in it and all the flavor in it out. And it's been cooked for a minute. It's had time to really marinate. It's been marinated out. It's sizzling, right? This is a stalled ox, not just a piece of meat. It's something that's quality. Read.
And hatred therewith.
But what is the actual condition? Because remember, Contentment is about how you perceive your condition, correct? Okay. On one condition, you're eating what you want to eat.
Right.
You got what you want. You're satiated and satisfied financially or by situation. Your situation's comfortable. But there's a spirit of dejection between you two. There's a war between the two. There's a disagreement.
Opposition.
There's opposition. There's the opposition that we were going to in the definition. There's an opposing nature between these two people, right? Or this unit of men, a camp, whatever the situation is. The conditions are cushy, they're nice, but the actual relationship condition is what? It's bad. What does God say is better? What's God's judgment? What's the first scripture? What's the first statement?
Content.
It says better, right?
Better.
Better. It's better to have that plate of herbs where there's genuine love and sincerity and care for one another than a whole bunch of blessings and a whole bunch of quote unquote physical, abundance around me.
Trinkets.
There's trinkets.
Yeah.
There's trinkets, worldly trinkets, but the condition between these two people is off. What's the point of going to the top and then there's a disconnection, you lose everything?
Right.
At least when you're on the bottom, you can build up to the top and maintain the love. God's showing us what was the point, what was the main point to fight for. Are you fighting for the steak or are you fighting for the love?
Right. And and a lot of times you look at our grandparents, they might have had a 600, 500, 700 square foot house, real small. But who was all in that house? Everybody was in that house. Even the uncles that should have been gone a long time ago.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He
never left.
Even in the house since he was 13, 14, 18, 27, 30. He didn't went off and had other kids and still living in the house. And now they're in the house. Now grandma got everybody in the house. But everybody's taken care of. And everybody got a place to sleep. Whether it be on the floor or on the pallet or on the couch. Or you got 2 to 3 in the bedroom with you. You know what I'm saying? But you know what you have in that house? You got love. And grandma gonna cook with love. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Some children that despise that situation, they say, I'm gonna have a bigger house than grandma. And they go get all these fancy things. And you know what? They got 2 or 3 jobs to maintain it. And so they got a big ass house and they never home. A big ass house. Yeah. You got a big old house. But you only sleep there. You never enjoy it. Because you know what you didn't see? You had a misappropriation of what was important. You had a misappropriation of what did the Most High want you to have? Was it about you or in the situation, or is it about having peace of mind? Was it about joy? Was it about love? I like the scripture you pulled. It's great. Is that it?
Yeah, that was it, because it just simply shows where are our priorities.
Right.
What do we prioritize? What comes first to you? Because a lot of times, this is the thing, because you have brought up the statement of control, right?
Yep.
When a person's fighting for control, let a person have control. And what's the end product of their control? They spoil themselves. Destruction. I destroy myself, I spoil myself, and then I wish things were the way it used to be. That's all I hear people talk about. I wish it was the way it used to be. Wait. In the beginning, it was better. It was better how I am now, just like the prodigal son. Yep. Prodigal son was not content. He was not content with how his father had him working, had him grinding, working with his brothers, hands dirty, getting it done. So what he do? He said, man, I know you ain't going to die anytime soon. Can you just give me my inheritance now? I want the inheritance now.
Yeah, I want my money now.
Get it now. Right? And when a person gets what they want and they get their liberty, the liberty they've been fighting for, what do they always do, male or female?
Squander.
They spoil themselves. And they squander it. And when he went out there, he went to the world, and he found himself at the end of his condition, he was living in a pig's pen. Because he had spoiled everything he got.
And eating corn husk.
Eating corn husk and spoiling himself. Because we don't know what's good for us. If you're not going off the judgment of God, you do not know what's good for you. And that's why we need tutors and teachers and masters. Because we really don't think, we really think we know what's good for us. In this cushy situation where people are taking care of us, I have a fantasy of what I think is good for me. Yep. But when you go on your own, the fantasy dies. And you see your real decision making, your real wisdom, your real ability to survive on your own. And how you start lacking in those spiritual things, but you get the physical things.
You get the physical things.
But you can't have both. So the question is, am I going to fight? Do I put the same energy in fighting to find contentment
Yep.
as I fight for liberty?
You'll find that a lot. That's a great question. And this is what Elisha is trying to convince Gehazi. Read that again.
God. And he said unto him, went not my heart with thee when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money?
Is it time to go get money? Because you know what he's saying? If it was time, this is 2 Kings chapter 5, and we're in verse 26.
26.
Because Elisha is saying, if it was time to go get money, Elisha is saying what? I would have sent you to go get money. If it was the time. I would have told you it was the time to go look for a payday. Read on.
And to receive garments?
And if it was a time to go shopping, I would have told you, hey, take the money we got left over after we pay these bills and go ahead and hit the mall real quick. Pop a tag if you want to. Go ahead and pop some tags. Go ahead, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and spend a rack. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that's what black folks do when they get their income tax, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They get that income tax, man. Listen, man, we're gonna get out this debt first. They gonna say black folks. Israel do it. We're gonna get out this debt first, catch up on these bills. We might buy some Jordans and some shoes. You know what I'm saying? With whatever's left over. Everybody gonna get some shoes. You might upgrade your phone.
Yeah. Everybody finna win.
You might get a chain if you're lucky. A little bit extra left over. You might get a chain out of it. You know what I'm saying? But he said, if it was time to go shopping, I would have told you it was time to go shopping. But we want control. We don't want nobody to tell us when to go shopping and what to spend and what to buy. We don't want nobody to tell us when to go look for gold and get better and look for money. But that determination and that discretion of it should be provided by the elder. Your elder should be able to dictate your coming and going and what you should be doing, when and where and how and why. Read on.
And olive yards?
And to go get olive yards? Read on.
And vineyards?
Go ahead. Vineyards.
Yeah,
that's
vineyards.
Yeah.
And sheep and oxen and men servants and maid servants?
What he's telling them is it time to come up and to go for self? Is that what it's time to do? Is it time for us to be about us and to be about comfort and pleasure and to be about wealth and satisfaction and personal satisfaction? Is it the time for that?
Can I pull in scripture real quick?
Yes, sir.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. This is that kind of mind frame. You have brought up vineyards and olive gardens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not Olive Garden, but vineyards and olive gardens, right?
2 verse.
Chapter 2, let's see. Verse 1.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1.
Because we think ungodly means a person just wants to sit here and just break laws and be all over the place.
Purposely breaking laws.
Yeah, you know what an ungodly person really is, to be honest? Immature.
Yep.
My age doesn't match. My age is not where I need to be. When I say ungodly, to be godly means you have a mature mentality. Discipline is a mature mentality. Mercy is a mature mentality. Patience is a mature mentality.
Self-control.
Self-control is a mature mentality. To find contentment is an act of maturity. But if I'm not content, it's just I'm spiritually what? Not mature. If I'm unmerciful, it means I'm spiritually what? Not mature. I'm not at the maturity level that God requires of me.
Right.
Therefore, I needed to. So the scripture right here says the ungodly said, read.
Okay, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves.
Reasoning. Reasoning means you're asking why. It means you're asking who, what, when, where, why, and how. There's a lot of questions going on. If you find yourself asking a lot of questions, you got to ask yourself, are these godly questions? That's how I know I'm tripping. If I got a lot of questions and I don't have a spiritual answer, I know I'm tripping. Read on.
But not aright.
But not what?
Aright.
Not aright according to the scriptures. Read.
Our life is short and tedious.
This is the perspective of a person that's spiritually immature. Our life is short and what?
Tedious.
Read on.
You know, it's tedious, meaning we work hard. We don't get time to enjoy what we're working for. We're doing all this work, but we never enjoy it. Say it again.
Too much job detail.
Right. Too much job detail. Too much. All this work, and we'll never get an opportunity to enjoy the fruit of our labor.
Come.
Go ahead.
Read on.
It says, and in the death of man,
In the death of a man, read.
there is no remedy.
Meaning that I'm gonna get old. I'm young right now. I want to enjoy some things. Because in the death of a man is no remedy, meaning I don't want to enjoy this when I get old. I don't want to wait till I'm old to enjoy life. Read on.
Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
Read on.
For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been.
So this person's really looking at the time. They're caught up in the moment right now. My focus is the moment. I'm not where I want to be right now. Right now, where I'm at in my life, I want to be here, and I'm here. So I'm just absorbed in the moment. I become self-absorbed. Read.
For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart.
So I gotta go please myself. I gotta please myself. 'Cause, you only got one life to live. That's what the old way is. You only have one life to live. The new way is YOLO, right? You only live once.
Right.
Read.
Which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes,
Read on.
and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air.
So I'm going to age. I want to sit here and enjoy myself. I want to relax and enjoy myself at the prime of my life.
Right.
Read.
And our name shall be forgotten in time,
Read on.
and no man shall have our works in remembrance.
You see this consciousness and think about I'm growing with the Most High. I'm over time getting better, closer to the Father. I'm building something. It might take a long time, but I'm building towards a greater end. They're just caught up in what they don't got. I don't got time. Read.
It says, and our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud.
So it's the spirit of I want to enjoy my life. No different than the prodigal son. The prodigal son's like, damn, just give me the inheritance now. I don't want to wait till you die. I want to enjoy my life. I want to live my life now.
Yep.
Let me get it up front. Read.
And shall be dispersed as a mist
Read on.
that is driven away with the beams of the sun.
Let's just speed up a little bit, maybe you could.
It says, and overcome with the heat thereof.
Uh-huh.
For our time is a very shadow that passeth away.
Read on.
And after our end there is no returning.
Uh-huh.
For it is fast sealed, so that no man cometh again.
Read on.
Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present.
Everybody's enjoying their life except for me. All my friends, my cousins, people I don't even know that I look at, I watch, I study, people that I might have measured myself to, everybody's enjoying their cake. They're living their life now except me. I feel like I'm missing out. This is the spirit that rides a mind that's not developed spiritually, or they're just immature in the scriptures and in life. Read.
And let us speedily use the creatures like as in youth.
Read on.
Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ornaments.
I want to make
ointments.
that you said it perfect. Costly wine and ointments. It's that spirit of I want that vineyard. I want the vineyard. I want the olive garden. I just want to sit here.
I want to go to Olive Garden.
I want to embrace myself. I want to feel good. I want to feel good now. Give me what I want now. What did Esau do that made the Most High cut him off?
Sold his birthright.
He sold his birthright. Why? Because he's like, listen, man, I want to eat now.
Yeah.
I want my blessing now. I want my liberty now. I want freedom now. I want to do my life now. Cool. You have the liberty to make the bad decision if you want. Make that bad choice if you want. But when you go end up in the pig pen, when you end up in the belly of the whale like Jonah, when you end up like Esau, cut off because you made a bad decision you can't take back. Then everybody's like, I wish it was the way it used to be. Remember the good times?
The good old days.
I still love you.
Yeah.
I still love you.
Can I come back? Yeah.
Listen, that's all the X-Text. That's all the X-Texts be on.
Yeah.
All the X-Texts be. Man, I remember you used to counsel me.
Yeah.
I look, you remember the counsels, man?
Right.
The counsels are gone.
You know what? But that's what happens when I didn't appreciate what was being given at the time.
That's people.
Or I didn't see the value of what was being given at the time.
Because I wasn't ready to see it.
No, I didn't want to see it.
There's a time period when, because I'm so consumed with looking at what I don't have, I can't see what I do have.
Right.
And that's the really destruction of a person, especially in their youth. Read this last point in the scripture. Now I'm done. Read that.
It says, and let no flower of the spring pass us by.
Read on.
Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds. Therefore they be withered.
I don't want to miss out, man. And that spirit rides people out.
Yep.
To the point where now
Or I'm wasting my life.
I'm wasting my life.
Right.
So why am I going to waste my life for Jesus Christ?
Because I'm gonna tell you why.
Versus
because a person that considers that they're wasting their life wasn't looking at what they were building. You said it a second ago. They weren't looking at what they were building with the Father. They were looking at what they were missing out on.
Come.
I look at all the things that I could be doing, and it's not a waste. It's not even so bad. You know how crooked people are. As long as I get to make my own decisions, it's not a waste.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's how really immature we are.
Come.
As long as I get to decide what I do with my life,
Come.
then it wasn't a waste. But at least I had control. Now I got the Frank Sinatra mentality. I did it my way.
Come.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all I wanted.
That's all
I ever wanted.
As long as I did it my way, then I'll be content with the fact that whatever I get or whatever I don't get, whatever good happens, whatever bad happens, I'm okay with the bad.
I did it my way.
But as long as I did it my way.
Brother.
Yeah.
That song
Does
hurt.
that tie in with Remember Lot's Wife?
Yeah, we're going to go there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He's in the
Yeah,
spirit.
you're in
huh?
the spirit. You know what I'm saying? But now, okay, you good on that?
I'm good though.
No, that's perfect.
I'm good with
That's
that.
perfect. I like what it says, costly ointment side.
Because that's the whole spirit
Yeah.
of what Esau does on an economic level.
Yeah.
He makes you feel like your looks are fading. Look in the mirror. Look at your eyelids.
Yeah.
They're not as beautiful as they used to be.
Right. Get a tummy tuck.
You pass by the sign out, it's the guy right there. He's right there by 410. He's like got the little 5-year hair out. He's like this. He's like, you deserve a little surgery.
He said,
Look better.
let the haters are gonna hate.
The haters. He says the haters are gonna hate.
Y'all see that billboard on 410?
Everybody wants a physical upgrade, but they don't want a spiritual upgrade. That shows. Remember, we had a class today, right, about mental health and mental illness, or we had a class the other day about guilt, overcoming guilt, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guilt and the lack of mental health comes when you invest your mind in just simply physical thinking. Physical thinking, physical thoughts. The joy of that physical thought or that physical mindset is temporary. It's a temporary happiness. It's a temporary peace. That's why Esau's all dropping, I got another movie for you. I got another sporting event for you. Yeah, scripture, go ahead.
Yeah, Ecclesiasticus chapter 20 and verse 32. Talking about, being opposite, not being in a rush,
Yeah.
Come.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 20 verse 32. Necessary patience in seeking the Lord is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide.
Wow.
As you were talking about earlier, how we want to function in the world and we want to function without elders, without tutelage, without people over us and giving us the right, hey, do this, don't do that. But it literally is telling you that necessary patience in seeking the Lord is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide. If I have the guide's already been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. It's going to give me has my best interest in mind. If I'm rolling by myself, if I'm rolling on my own, I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. I'm going to blow money fast. I'm going to live fast, die fast.
Yeah.
If I follow, what's going to happen? I'll be preserved. That's all.
Good, great point.
Great
Go to
point.
Philippians chapter 4. No, let that go in, finish that in Kings.
2 Kings chapter 5, verse 26. And he said unto him, went not mine heart?
Read on down.
Okay, come. 27. The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee.
He said, now, because you didn't take my mind with you, because you didn't share my discretion, and you didn't let me dictate when to get and when to gather and when to gain. He says, therefore, the leprosy that was on Naaman, go ahead.
And unto thy seed forever.
He said, it's going to be what?
Unto thy seed forever.
It's going to be on you
Wow.
and your seed forever.
I got to point this one thing out.
God.
Listen, this is beautiful because what it shows is, based on Naaman's mistake, it affected who?
Gehazi's mistake.
Gehazi's mistake, not my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Based on Gehazi's mistake, who did it affect?
His children.
His children. So when we get out of order with wisdom, when we don't follow our guides and tutors, if we have our best interests, who do our decisions actually affect?
Our children.
That's what leads to baby mama drama. That's what leads to broken marriages. That's what leads to a whole bunch of situations where we catch diseases and we pass these things down to what? Our kids. The effects, meaning that my bad decisions in my youth affect my kids. But I don't put that. I don't think like that. I'm not thinking about them. I'm thinking about me.
I didn't think that by me going for self at this time in my life would have such long-standing effects to where now my kids are in a predicament because I was going for self. Because I was only looking out for my benefits. I was looking out for me when I was trying to make a come up. But I never thought it would affect my kids in this manner.
Come.
Read verse 27 again.
The leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever.
Go ahead.
And he went out from his presence a leper as white as snow.
He says, so from that day forward, he was a white man.
That was it.
From that day forward.
Ruined.
You know what I'm saying? He said, from that day forward, all his color was gone. All his pigmentation was gone.
He's Michael Jackson, huh?
Yeah. From that day forward. You know what I'm saying? So, from that day forward, he was cursed. It says, and his children, right? So let's go to Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. So we're getting back to the root of what happens when a person is not content. Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. Everybody got it? Everybody get it?
Philippians 4:11.
Mm-hmm. Read that.
Philippians chapter 4, verse 11. Not that I speak in respect of want.
Because what Paul is saying is, it's not that I want anything. I'm okay with where I'm at in the Father. Because he understood that he was going to live a life of obedience to the Most High in Christ. So it says, not in respect, not that I'm saying this because I want anything. That's what you see. He started out by saying, it's not because I need anything.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
True.
For I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content.
He says, I've learned. What Paul is saying is, he's learned that no matter what condition or what state he's in, he's learned to be what?
Content.
Content. That definition of content, again. It says, rest or quietness of the mind in the present condition. So what he's saying is, he's learned, obviously he's saying it's a learned behavior. That if you don't know how to do this, you got to learn how to do this. You got to learn how to be at rest or to be there, for there to be quietness of the mind in the present condition. That the Most High wants you to be quiet and to be at peace with your current circumstance. He says, satisfaction which holds the mind in peace, restraining complaint, opposition, or further desire. I don't want more than what I already have. I'm cool where I'm at. I'm cool with what the Most High has given me so far. That's what it means to be content. I'm okay with the size of my house. I'm okay with the couch I got. I'm okay with the clothes I got in the closet. I'm okay with the food that I have in the refrigerator. I'm okay with the money or the lack of money that's in my bank account. What Paul is saying is he's learned how to have the right mentality regardless of the situation or the circumstance. One more definition of content, or the continuation of this definition of content. It says, and often implying a moderate degree of happiness. So we have to learn how to be happy, at least moderately happy. Having some type of control of our happiness. Finding some type of joy with whatever the state or condition that we're in. If not, we just read, this is when people start to lie. This is when people start to go for self. This is when people start to decay morally. So Paul is saying what? Read that again.
Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned, in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content.
Go ahead.
Verse 12. I know both how to be abased.
He says, I know how to be brought low. To be abased means to have nothing. You're brought to a very low estate. Today you might say, man, I'm broke, and I'm down and out. I ain't got it. And you ain't got it, you just ain't got it. Right?
Yeah.
You just have to say, I'm okay by saying I don't got it.
It's a temporary condition.
Right. If I can understand this.
Come
If I have the right perspective towards the Most High, I understand that this ain't going to last forever. Yes, sir.
Can you confuse being content with being complacent or comfortable?
Yeah, you can. You can confuse being content with being complacent or comfortable. Because sometimes, because that's a different spirit.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I understand. Because I can be complacent with my situation. And I don't push to change it.
And my elders are saying
And
it's time to.
And my elders are saying it's time to get out of this situation.
Come.
You've been in this situation for too long. Like now you're used to being miserable. Now you're comfortable being miserable. You're comfortable being angry. You're comfortable being who you are and thinking that that's okay. Because that's a mind frame too that should be dictated by elders. Because an elder will recognize, wait a minute, you're too okay with not pushing yourself for better. You're too okay with not having any momentum or excitement about you. You're too okay with bumming out all day, being a bum all day, doing nothing all day. You're too okay with not working. You're too okay with that. Or you're too okay with not taking on new challenges. You're okay with working that same job, working the same hours, operating at the same schedule, or you're too okay with the person that you are. You don't think nothing's wrong with you. So you're not open for anybody to implant anything new into you. You're not open for change. You're not open for alteration and modification. You don't want anybody to modify you. You don't want anybody to make you better because you feel like where you are is good enough. That's an issue too. But that's also a mind frame that an elder could recognize and start to say, it's time for you to move now. You know what we do? We have a brother's house. I'm talking about those in this classroom. Y'all know we have a brother's house. In the internet world, Facebook world, we have a brother's house. And what happens when men get too comfortable at the brother's house?
Gotta kick him out.
We gotta kick him out. You know what I'm saying?
It's time to go, bro.
Yeah, you didn't been at the brother's house, and you didn't got stable, and your circumstances are stable. Your life has now become stable. You know what I'm saying? Now it's time. You've used the opportunity that we provided for yourself to become stable. Now you got to get out this room. You got to get out of this room because now we need to bring somebody else in here so that they can become stable. Now you're clogging up space. Now you got on top of your circumstance, no matter where you come from, whether it's homeless or jail or whatever the circumstance may be. But now you're stable. You're working. You're operating in some capacity.
You have clarity.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you have direction. You're on your feet, so to speak. Now you got to go. You got to make room for the next person that needs this environment and this stability. You got to make room. It's the same thing we tell men with rank. You got to grow. You been in this situation, you ain't never took your soldier's. You been in this long, been in a year, you ain't took a soldier's test? You ain't took an Officer 50 test? Yeah, you sitting on that seat too long. Now you been here for years and years and you ain't teaching yet? You ain't teaching? You ain't got no breakdowns? You ain't got no notes? You're not breaking this word down. What are you sitting on? You sitting on this too long. You sitting on this information too long. You should be distributing this information. We have to deal with that too. So so people can confuse that, but that's a different spirit though. But it's very close to what you're saying, because me being content is also, that doesn't mean I'm lazy or I'm not progressing. I'm not moving forward. I'm not bettering myself.
We have to be content too. I'm not content you pushing me.
Right.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah. You heard that. And that's what it comes down to. So we have to look at that too. We have to monitor that as well. Just like a man has to monitor that in his household, or a kid. Or if you got children. You don't care if you fail the 3rd grade again? No, you ain't having that, man.
That is cool.
I don't need school. No, that's not how it's gonna go. You're not gonna be a 13-year-old 3rd grader. That's not happening. We're gonna put you in some tutoring. You're gonna do something. Yeah. You're okay with failing? It's not okay with me. That's not okay. You got a great mind and you're wasting it? You don't want to do your homework? You don't want to turn in your homework? And you got a great mind? That's unacceptable. I didn't send you to school and spend all this money. And you skipping class. Because you think you don't need school. You don't see that you're hurting yourself in the end. Somebody has to monitor that.
True.
You're not going to waste my money, or you're not going to waste your time. You know what? That's why an elder has to be able to see the disciples or the students' potential and maximize their potential and push them to their potential. People don't want to be pushed to their potential. People want to be comfortable. They want to be satisfied where they are. I don't need to be better. I don't need to push for growth. That's why an elder is necessary, that they identify these issues within their students or their home life or their households or within themselves. And then they push themselves for greatness. And they push the people around them to strength and greatness. We got to watch that too. But great question. Read on.
Philippians chapter 4, verse 12. I know both how to be abased, and I know how to be abound.
Read on. That's why he said, I know how to be brought low and still be happy.
Come.
And I know how to come up and still be happy. And you know what being happy is? Being okay with where I'm at and what the Most High, the condition the Most High has me in. I can look beyond the people that are over me. And I can look at the Most High. I'm able to see beyond my elders. Even though I'm in order with my elders, I understand that it's also the Most High's design who provided me with these elders to give me the timing that I don't have, or the timing that I so eagerly want to be able to control my life. Because a lot of us want that. A lot of us want control. We want to determine, when is it time for me to go for self? When am I going to make myself happy? When am I going to get what I want? This is a dangerous spirit to play with. Read on.
Everywhere and in all things.
He says, I know how to be content everywhere, no matter where I'm at. Whether I'm high, where I'm in the projects, or I'm in the mansion. The problem is, Proverbs chapter 27. That's the problem. Proverbs 27 and 20. Yeah, Proverbs chapter 27, verse 20. That's the problem.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 20. That's the problem. Read on.
Proverbs chapter 27, verse 20. It says, hell and destruction are never full.
It says, for hell and destruction always is open. It's open 24/7. It's never closed. 24/7, 7 days a week. Hell and destruction is always available. It's never a shortage. It's never a shortage of hell and destruction. Read on.
So the eyes of man.
Man, hell and destruction is out of stock right now, man.
Bro.
Out of stock, man. Can't get none.
I want some hell, man.
Yeah, you can always get some hell. You can always get some destruction. No, it's high. You know that? Read on.
It says, so the eyes of man.
It says, and the problem is, here's the issue. The eyes of man, go ahead,
Wow.
are never satisfied.
that's the problem. A man and a woman is never happy where they are. That's what you got to fight all your life. You got to fight the way you look at your condition. You have to fight how you look at your circumstance. Because how you look at your circumstance will determine what move you're about to make next. It's going to determine your movements. It's going to determine your obedience, whether you stay in order or not. It's going to determine whether you're going to go for self or not. It's going to determine if you're going to become a liar, a thief, a cheater, or whatever it is. You being happy on where you are is going to dictate a lot of your movements from that point forward. If you don't know how to be happy where you are and what the Most High's got you going through, then you're going to start thinking for self and doing for self. And that's when hell and destruction becomes available. When you start making your own decisions.
That's what Satan wants.
That's what Satan wants. He wants you to make your own decisions. He wants you to think for yourself with no control, with nobody guiding or governing or looking out for your whereabouts and your coming and going. That's what Satan wants. Because then you're available to be manipulated. You're a sheep with no shepherd.
But you know what? If I haven't experienced that side of life yet, then I can't even see it.
Yeah, because I'm too busy wanting what I see that other people have that I can't gain, or I haven't experienced it yet. I want to know what it feels like to get high, because everybody rap about it. Everybody rap about it. I want to know what it feels like to do some drugs. I want to know what it feels like to live on my own and have my own place. I want to know what it feels like to be a baller, to be able to throw money and make it rain in the club.
Whenever.
Whenever. It's gonna be a 80% chance of showers tonight in the club, man.
If I step in,
Finna make it rain tonight. You better get your umbrellas. I'm finna throw a stack.
baller alert.
Yeah.
Stacks on deck.
Stacks on deck. Cause I done seen Lil Wayne throw money like him and Fat Joe make it rain, man. Whoever was singing that damn
Just sang
song.
it.
I make it rain. You know what I'm saying? Popping bottles like we won the championship game.
Yeah.
I want to pop bottles too. I want to know what it feels like to go to the mall and have 10 bags in each hand.
Yeah.
Because you know your arms got to be real wide. And then you be like swinging while you are. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I got 10 bags in each hand.
Sorry.
I want to know what it feels like. That's what everybody. But he said this is the beginning of destruction, man. That's why he said neither eyes of man are what.
Satisfied.
That's the problem. People are not satisfied with their condition. That's why they always find themselves in a hellish or destructive position. Because I'm not satisfied on what the Most High got me going through. I want more. This is not enough for me. This situation don't make me happy. I don't find pleasure where I'm at. I want more out of life. I want more experiences. I want to taste more. I want to enjoy. Yeah, man. I want to know what it's like to just fly out the country. Just give me a damn passport and just have lunch in London.
Just do me.
I'm gonna have lunch in London and dessert in Italy because I heard a rapper rap about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And be back for dinner. Be back in New York for dinner. Whatever, man. It's all kind of craziness that we come up with because we didn't experience things. That curiosity be killing us. Or the lack of satisfaction and contentment be killing us. That's the issue. So let's go back to where we were at in Philippians. So that's the problem. Go ahead. Yes, read verse 12.
Philippians chapter 4, verse 12. I know both how to be abased and I know how to be abound. Everywhere and in all things.
He says, in everywhere and in all things.
Come.
You never gonna see me be sad about my condition or my circumstance, because I know that the Most High can change my situation at any time, as long as I know how to stay in order. Go ahead.
On the note of what you just said, did you get 1 Peter 5 and 6 yet?
Go ahead.
1 Peter.
Hold on, because we might be going there. Yeah, we might be going there. Go ahead.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6, on the note of what you just said. It says, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that he may exalt you in due time.
Read it again.
Wow. Yeah.
1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that he may exalt you in due time.
So you have to wait on who?
The Most High.
You got to wait on the Most High to raise you up or to change your situation. The hardest thing to do is for you to sit there in your condition and not be happy and have patience until the Most High elevates you out of it. But that's not what everybody wants to do. It takes a special mind to do that. It takes a special mind to do that. Somebody with understanding. Somebody that has the understanding of Paul. He could sit in a painful circumstance. He can sit in an uncomfortable circumstance and wait for the Most High to get him out of it. A lot of people can't. A lot of people can't sit in a situation where they don't get what they want. And they're not living how they want to live. And they don't sit there long. A lot of people can't do that. But that's why we read the Bible. Because we have to develop this mind frame. This is a learned behavior. This mind frame has to be taught. Let that go and go back to where it was at in Philippians. Verse 12.
Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need.
You say, I know how to have a lot and have left over, and I also know how to suffer need. I don't complain when I suffer need. When things are bad and it's low and it's a shortage of things, whether it's my money or my food or situation, I don't complain. I know this is temporary. Read on.
verse 13. I can do all things through Yahushua, which strengthen me.
He said, I can do all things through Yahushua, which strengthens me, which is Jesus Christ in Hebrew. I can do all things through Yahushua, which strengthens me. If I learn to lean on Christ, he'll take me out of my circumstance. He'll change my circumstance. He'll exalt me out of my circumstance. And that's where I have to learn how to trust the Most High. You can do that when you trust the Most High. But the problem is, we don't always trust the Most High, and we don't always equate that the Most High is even with us. Matter of fact, you're in Philippians. Go to Philippians chapter 2 and verse 13.
Philippians 2:13. For it is the Most High which worketh in you both to will.
Stop right there. What did Paul say?
For it is
The Most High.
For it is the Most High which worketh in you.
He said, it's the Most High that's working in you. A lot of people don't recognize that the Most High is putting me in situations that I'm in to learn what I have to learn, which normally comes down to me learning how to trust, normally comes down to me learning how to follow, and me learning how to develop contentment, learning how to be content. Once I learn this, the Most High will elevate me to some other lesson. He'll invite me in on some other gift that I need to have in order to be stable-minded. He said, a lot of us don't even recognize that it's the Most High that's got me going through what I'm going through. We think man is making me suffer. We think man is making me wait. We think man is putting a cap on my development and my growth. We think man has got a glass ceiling over my head. We think man is controlling my destiny and controlling my fate. We don't even acknowledge that it's the Most High that's in us that's got us in this situation. Have we ever thought about that? That the Most High got me in an uncomfortable situation? But Paul said he knows how to be content, whether it's abased or bound. So you know what? Paul said, man, it's the Most High is controlling it. He's controlling my condition. That's why it says what?
For it is the Most High which worketh in you both to will and to do of his good pleasure.
It's the Most High that's in me, that's working his will in me. That's teaching me how to do his will, not my will. If the Most High got me suffering, he still wants me to choose his will over my suffering. If the Most High got me at a low point in life, he still wants me to choose his will over me trying to compensate for my condition by getting out of it. He still wants me to learn how to be obedient. We have to consider that. Read on.
Do all things without murmuring.
And that's why if you do understand that it's the Most High that got you in this situation, you'll be able to go through everything without what?
Murmuring.
And what else?
And disputing.
You'll learn how to shut your mouth and follow.
Instead of arguing.
Instead of arguing.
Instead of disputing.
Instead of disputing. Instead of trying to take control of your situation. You'll learn how to stay in order. That's why it said, do all things without what?
Murmurings and disputing.
Read on.
That ye may be blameless.
That you may be what?
Blameless.
And the only way I can learn how to be blameless is I learn how to be content. If I learn how to be content, I'll learn how to be blameless. Read on.
And harmless.
And I'll be harmless. Read on.
The sons of the Most High without rebuke in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation.
Because that everybody else in the world doesn't know how to be in a bad situation and still be obedient. And still learn how to follow. And still learn how to trust the Most High. A lot of us want to make decisions that immediately change our condition based on the fact that we don't see that we don't think that this condition is making me happy. Simply because how I feel. Simply because I'm not feeling this situation that I'm in. So I automatically decide that I'm going to change my circumstance because I have the power to do so.
So we're situational Jews, huh?
Absolutely.
God is good, but my situation's good.
Go back to 1 Timothy 6:9 real quick.
Come.
1 Timothy, let go of Philippians. 1 Timothy 6:9. First Timothy chapter 6 verse 9.
1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 9.
Everybody got it? Read that.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9. It says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation.
People that
Wow.
people that are caught up in their abundance,
Yep.
in what they have, he says they will be caught in a what?
Into temptation and a snare.
And
Come.
how is a person that through their abundance shall be caught in a temptation and a snare?
Okay.
Anybody know? How can I, through my abundance, be caught up into a temptation or a snare? How? Good. True. Good. Anybody else? All them points is correct. Yeah, kind.
Yeah. It's also too through abundance. Of course, thinking that it's us, but I create a situation where I don't need the Most High.
Right. But ultimately, what happens is you don't want to let it go, and that becomes the problem. And that's when riches are a snare, because when the Most High said let it go, like Christ told the young Pharisee, or the young rich man, he said, what should I do to inherit eternal life? He said, follow the commandments. He said, I follow the commandments from my youth up. He said, okay, well, sell all that you got and follow me.
He said, no.
And what happened? What happened then?
God.
He departed with what? With a sad countenance.
Yeah.
He
did.
couldn't fulfill that though. He told Christ, I've been following the commandments from my youth up.
What like I yet?
Yeah, I said, well, like I yet. But you know what? Sell everything you got and now follow me. And now what did he do? Ooh, you asking too much. Ooh, it's too much. His salvation was predicated on or eternal life. He was asking about eternal life. So you mean to tell me that I give up my salvation because of my position is comfortable? That's when the riches become a snare.
Come.
Because I don't want to let it go. Now I've gotten myself to such a position. Now this position is too important to me to make any changes. Now I'm stuck. Now I'm my riches and my wealth has entrapped me. Because I don't want to let my condition go. I don't want to become uncomfortable again. A lot of rappers talking about they ain't never going back to being broke. They ain't never going back to the projects. I'll never be broke again.
Yeah, never broke again, young boy.
Yeah, never broke. I ain't never going back to that life. Never go back to project living. I'd rather die than go back to project living. It's not just rappers, that's people that think this way. People don't want it. They don't want to change. And that's when it becomes a snare. Read that again.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9. It says, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts,
Read on.
which drown men in destruction and perdition.
And because of where I put myself and my inability to let it go, whether it's my control, it says this will be the beginning of my downfall. Now read what you were saying, my Waller, that you had in Luke 17 and 32.
Chapter 17, verse 32.
Yeah, you pulled this early, but you quoted it earlier.
17:32.
Yes.
Luke chapter 17, verse 32. Remember Lot's wife.
Now somebody else who fell into hurtful lust was who? Lot's wife. Yes.
Okay, I got some right after.
Okay. It said, remember what?
Lot's wife.
You're in Luke 17 and 32,
Come.
right? Read on.
Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it.
And if I'm a person that's on the low, and I'm trying, and I establish myself, I raise myself up out of my condition, and I establish myself to somewhat comfortability. I'm comfortable now in life, and now I don't want to let that life go. He says a person just trying to sustain where they are in life, not like Paul that can be happy no matter if he has it or not. But I'm a person that when I have it, I don't want to let it go. I don't want I want it to last forever. I don't want to ever let this feeling go. I don't want to ever let this comfortability go. Or I don't want to ever let this control go. I got myself to a certain position where I'm happy in life. He said, whoever shall save his life shall what?
Lose it.
Read on.
And whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it.
And if I'm willing to give it up, give up my control, give up my state that I'm in, the position that I'm in, what I worked so hard to establish. If I'm willing to give that up, I'll save my life. Read on.
I tell you, in that night.
No, that's it. That's all I wanted to get out of that. So now we got to look at Lot's wife. You want to bring something up?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
On the point of that, talking about not just the woman, but the person in general. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 6. It says, but, so when you're talking about, read that real quick, Marlon, one more time.
Okay.
The first part.
Remember Lot's wife.
Now, Lot's wife represented what? Anybody know? Looking back, right?
Yeah.
But what was she looking back at? She was looking back at this. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. She was dead because she was focused on living in pleasure. She wasn't ready to sacrifice. She wasn't ready to give up those things. If you're talking about being comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth, because she's focused on pleasure. She's not ready to, or not even just a she, that person isn't ready or susceptible to let go of that pleasure. She's talking about exactly.
So you mean to tell me that before Lot's wife was dead,
she was already
dead?
I'm sorry, I had to pull it. I'm sorry, I had to let you know.
She was dead already.
She was already dead.
She was dead before the hailstones fell on Sodom. So I like that point. Genesis chapter 19, verse 14.
Can you say that death is representation of compromise?
Yeah, well, you can, but that's all right. Yeah.
Genesis chapter 19 and verse
It would require
14.
an explanation. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, read that.
And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place.
So now the angels told Lot what?
Get out, leave.
It's time to leave, bro.
It's time to leave. Get out. Here's your opportunity. Now, this is when I got not just men, but I got angels telling me when it's time to leave. These are angelic beings sent from the Most High to pull me out of a situation.
Tell me what to do.
They're telling me what to do, man, for the purpose of salvation. I'm okay with receiving instruction from them because what they're trying to do is give me salvation. Read on.
For the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his son-in-law. And when the morning arose,
And this, I'm sorry, this is Lot. My apology. This is Lot telling his son-in-laws to leave. So this is him trying to convince them to leave. Read on. And they mocked him.
Because he got daughters.
You know what? That's you telling your family members to pick up the Bible and read. That's you telling your family members you became an Israelite. And you know who you are. And that you one of the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You're the chosen of the Most High. And you got to now follow his law, statutes, and commandments. And you got to wear fringes now. And you got to do away with your diet. And you have to make changes. That's going to sound strange to people, especially people that are somewhat comfortable in their life. That's going to sound really strange. Because I'm comfortable. Why do I have to leave what I built? What I've worked so hard to achieve?
Con.
Bless you.
My vision.
It took me all my life to get to this point. Why? And I've ate pork the whole time getting here. What makes you think that me doing away with pork is going to change this? It ain't got nothing to do with this. But this is why he got mocked. Because some people was comfortable. Read on.
then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city.
Then angels knew destruction is coming. He said, listen, man, you got to do what you got to do to get out of this place. No different than this. Somebody read Romans 13:11. Somebody read Romans chapter 13, verse 11 real quick.
Romans 13, verse 11.
Just write it down. If you ain't got it yet, just write it down.
And that, knowing the time.
Just like today. This ain't the time for you to be establishing yourself on some type of economic comfortable level in America. Every nation has had a rise and fall. Every nation on earth has ascended and was brought down. This is history. These are facts. Is America supposed to last forever?
No. No.
But the kingdom of God is coming. And that's what you have to be preparing yourself for. Because the only kingdom that's coming next to rule the earth is Christ's kingdom, where he's the head of it, not voting for a president. The next kingdom belongs to Christ and his angels. So as we go out and teach people to prepare themselves for this coming next kingdom, they're going to mock too. This is not the time for us to get comfortable trying to build something in America. You ain't did it by now. You need to be looking to make an exit for another kingdom that's coming. In preparation and trying to prepare yourself to receive that and to be a citizen of that kingdom. Read on.
And that, knowing the time, that now it is high time.
It says now, even right now. You know what? They're not even announcing the tsunamis, the earthquakes, the volcanoes, and all the massive animal deaths. They're not even, and this is not even the headline news. The famines. They're not the locusts that are invading countries. Completely like like clouds, so massive amount of locusts you can see them from satellites. Swarms. All these are biblical fires that are burning in California, fires burning in Colorado. Still burning. These are biblical things. These are biblical warnings and biblical signs of it coming to an end. So even as you try to prepare a person now, they're too busy trying to get a job or trying to buy something, trying to hold on to a piece of property, trying to establish themselves. Why are you trying to establish yourself in a place that's destined to fall? Read on. He said, now it is high time to do what?
To awake out of sleep.
To wake out of what?
Out of sleep.
People been asleep too long. They've been asleep too long. People been asleep. Sleep just meaning not aware of the circumstances. They're not paying attention to what's going on around. They're not looking at the real news. They're too busy worrying about elections. Read on.
For now.
For when?
For now.
Talking about right now is what?
Is our salvation.
Because you know what? Our salvation, which is our exit, go ahead,
is nearer than when we believe.
The end is closer than you think. If you ain't done what you need to do or what you felt like you wanted to do by now, then you might as well forget it. You might as well put that plan down and pick up another plan. And make the Most High your focus. Make serving Christ your focus. That's all that's happening right here in the story that we read in Genesis. Read on in that.
Verse 16. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life.
He said, get out of here. Get out of here, man. Because the Most High is about to destroy this place. Leave. Exit. Matter of fact, give me Luke 17:28 real quick.
Luke 17, chapter 28. Verse 28. Luke chapter 17 and verse 28.
Read that.
Likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot.
He says, the same events and the same style of events that happened in Genesis that we're reading about now, he says, history is going to repeat itself. Read on.
They did eat.
They was chilling. They was comfortable. They was eating. They was partying. They was having a good time. They was filling their bellies. 2 refrigerators. Go ahead.
They drank.
They had wine. They celebrated. They enjoyed themselves. Read on.
They bought.
They obviously, in order for you to buy something, you got to have some money. Sodom and Gomorrah was not poor. They had some money.
It was popping.
It was popping. The money was good. money was good. Money was strong. Economy was strong. He said they ate, they drank, and they bought stuff. So obviously the money is good. Go ahead.
They sold.
And they sold things. Business was good. When you buying and selling, business is good.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that means businesses you could barely keep up, man. It's a lot of money to be made. Read on.
They planted.
They planted, meaning they had land. They bought land. They bought properties. Read on. They had investments.
They built it.
They built it. Go ahead.
But
He says what? But there's a but. Read on.
the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
Did they get to enjoy everything they bought?
La'ah.
Did they enjoy the properties?
La'ah.
Did they enjoy their money?
La'ah.
Did they enjoy their wine they bought?
La'ah.
Their ointments, their expensive ointments?
La'ah.
No, man, they didn't get to enjoy it. Everything that they worked for, they never enjoyed it. Because the day that the ones that the Most High had mercy on exited the city, it was time for destruction. And so right now, that the lesson in this is we should be looking for the same mercy that the Most High had on Lot and his family. And we got to know when it's time to leave. And when we have to change our focus. We have to let somebody determine what should be the focus. That's why it said, remember Lot's wife. You got to know when it's time to exit. When it's time to change your mentality. Now go back to where we was at in Genesis.
Genesis chapter 19 and verse 17. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life.
He said what?
Escape for thy life.
Read on.
Look not behind thee.
He said don't do what?
Look not behind thee.
Don't look back. When the Most High give you an opportunity to serve him, and he gives you an opportunity to have mercy, to receive mercy from him by changing your life, he said, don't look back. This was your chance. Read on.
Neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain.
He said, do what?
Escape to the mountain,
Go ahead.
lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my lord. Behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die.
So Lot was not really necessarily filling the plan, but the angels brought him up anyway. They brought him up anyway. Read on.
Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow the city, for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou become thither.
He said, okay, I'm going to let you get out of here because you're a little bit open age. So I'm going to help you out. I'm going to have a city of refuge for you to go to where you can escape. And the Most High told him, well, the minute, I'm not going to destroy it until you get there. Till you get to that place of refuge, then I'm going to destroy it. Read on.
Therefore, the name of the city was called Zoar.
Because it's called little. And that's Zoar means little. Go ahead.
The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar.
Read on.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah.
It said the sun was risen. So that means it was 6:30 in the morning. It caught everybody what? Off guard, man. A lot of people caught sleeping. They would sleep. You talking about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah came when the sun came up. You ain't even out of bed yet. You sleep.
I'm not getting out of bed yet.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm gonna sleep in. Because I got a day off my job. My job gave me a day off. There's some irony in that. I don't know where it's at, but we can laugh about it. You know?
It's my day off.
It's my day off. Go ahead.
Brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back.
His wife did what?
Wow.
Looked back.
His wife did not know how to depart or leave from her condition. She didn't know how to let go of the comfort that she established and what she built in Sodom and Gomorrah. Remember, it says that they was buying, they were selling, they bought lands, right? They were building.
God.
Man, money was good. It was the house was nice. Everything was established. But he said, that's why the scripture said in the New Testament, remember Lot's wife. You got to know when to let go of what you established. That's the deceitfulness that's in riches. Riches are deceitful because they become so important to you. You don't know how to depart. That's why riches get you in the snare. That's why to be rich is dangerous. That's why Christ said it's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Because you know what? While you're ambitious to become rich, you're only setting yourself up for something that you cannot let go. You setting your own trap. In your pursuits to be comfortable, you setting your own damn trap. That's dangerous. That's showing you that riches and wealth and comfort is deadly. Because you don't know how to let it go. Read on.
But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
Now, why did the Most High turn her into a pillar of salt versus turning her into just some ash and just let her blow away like you see a vampire to step in the sun? Exactly. Go to Wisdom of Solomon. Go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 6. Go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 6. You know, there's a reason why the Most High turned into a pillar of salt and not just to a bunch of ashes. It would have been easy to turn into some ashes and just blow away in the dirt and the dust.
Okay. You said Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, and verse 6?
Yes.
Okay, come.
He got, yeah. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10, verse 6. Read that.
When the ungodly perished, she delivered the righteous man.
Talking about wisdom, right? Because the wisdom was knowing when to let go of what you're trying to build or what you have built. And when it's time to now follow the Most High. Wisdom is a sheep. I know that was brought out a couple of days ago in class. Read on.
Who fled from the fire which fell down upon the 5 cities.
And with Sodom and Gomorrah was the 2 largest cities of 5 cities. It was 5 cities total. Sodom and Gomorrah were the 2 largest of the 5. Read on.
Of whose wickedness, even to this day, waste land that smoketh is a testimony.
It says, even until this day, it says, the wasteland that smoketh is a testimony. If you even to this day go pick up some sulfur, some brimstone that the Most High dropped on Sodom and Gomorrah, you can go today, to this day in 2020, and go get a piece of the rock that fell, of the ash that's still there. And you could take a lighter and you could light the rock and it'll combust. It's showing you that to this day, those rocks are still combustible because the amount of sulfur that was in the brimstone. It's flammable to this day. You can light rocks right now. It's showing you that that's proof and evidence, even to this day, what the Most High did to Sodom and Gomorrah. And we read in Luke that Christ said out of his mouth, in the end, it's going to be the same way as it was in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. Destruction is inevitable. And why did Lot's wife look back? Read on.
And plants bearing fruit that never come to ripeness.
That's why you can't build on that land in Sodom and Gomorrah. They tried to recently put some apartment buildings up. The land is so unstable, it just collapses. You can't build on it to this day. Read on.
And a standing pillar of salt.
And a standing what?
Pillar of salt.
Why did the Most High allow Lot's wife to be a standing pillar of salt? Read on.
Is a monument.
Is a what?
A monument.
What is a monument? It's a statue of remembrance, right? It's a statue that somebody erects to remember a person or events. So why did the Most High turn Lot's wife into a pillar of salt? As a what?
Monument.
As a monument of what?
Of an unbelieving soul.
because he wanted people to see every time they saw that Lot's wife that was a pillar of salt. This was a reminder of when it's time to exit. Listen to your elders. Listen to the ones that Most High got over you. When it's time to make an exit, this is an example of somebody who chose not to leave their ambitions. Somebody who chose not to leave their comfortability.
The passions.
Of what they built for themselves. This is somebody who was too attached to what they had established on earth. That's why he put that monument there. He turned a person into a monument. No, mostly monuments are made out of stone. He made her a living monument. Turned straight into salt. For the purpose of an example of what not to do. And an example of what not to be. That's why the Most High dealt with Lot's wife the way she was dealt with. Other people needed to know an example and see when it's time to go, follow your elders. Follow the instructions of the ones that the Most High got in front of you, because it could be to your salvation, or it could be to your detriment if you don't. Read on.
Verse 8. For regarding not wisdom, they get not only this hurt.
It says for not paying attention to wisdom, they not only got this hurt, go ahead.
That they knew not the things which were good.
They didn't know what good was. They thought building, buying, and selling and getting wealthy was good. That's what they thought was good. They didn't think that building a relationship with the Most High was better than work and more worth and value than silver and gold.
God.
Read on.
But also left behind them to the world a memorial of their foolishness.
He says they left behind to the world a memorial of their what?
Foolishness.
And you could even read the Josephus, which was written around 30 AD. I think Josephus was writing that around 30 AD, somewhere around there. And even Josephus had, in 30 AD, had testified that pillar of salt was still there. Read on.
Foolishness, so that in the things wherein they offended, they could not so much as be hid.
Go ahead. Read on. Verse 9.
Wisdom.
Verse 9.
Yeah, but
But
wisdom.
wisdom delivered from pain those that attended upon her.
It says, but wisdom, following instruction, specifically from your elders, from the one that the Most High got in front of you, it says, will deliver you from what?
Pain.
From pain, man. That's why the Most High got these elders. That's why the Most High got people to instruct you. You never know what is going to happen or what the Most High is bringing to this place. And you don't know by following their example or their counsel is going to save your circumstance. Not building what you think is right. This is a mistake that happens when we're not content with our situation. All this is because we're not content. You know what? Lot's wife was not content on her husband's advice of letting this go. Wasn't content. Wasn't good enough for her. She didn't want to be brought down. She didn't want to let go what she built and what she had. There was too much of a physical attachment to things than a spiritual opportunity. All these things, this truth is a spiritual opportunity. You got to see this truth as such. This is an opportunity to get you out of your circumstance that you didn't even know was going to come to nothing. You didn't even know it was going to fail. It was going to fall apart. When you start living long enough, you can start seeing that, damn, you know what? If I wouldn't have made that decision that I made to follow instructions of my elders, my decision was actually going to come to nothing. That's that job. A lot of people realize that now. The job that you thought you was going to get collapsed. You was going to rest on in retirement. May not be no retirement. May not be no Social Security. May not be none. People thought they was going to rest on unemployment. Unemployment got cut down. So a lot of things that people think they're going to rest on and it's gonna be swept right under their feet. A lot of us don't know. We can't see the future. So it's better that you listen and follow, so the Most High can put you in the right place at the right time to avoid disasters. And that's what me being content helps me do. It helps me to follow even when I don't see the outcome of it. That's why Paul said I could be content no matter what state I'm in, no matter where I'm at. Doesn't matter. And this is what Joshua was trying to show the children of Israel before he died. Go to the Josephus. If you have your Josephus, go to the Josephus. Go to page 134 in the Josephus. Page 134. And go to chapter 5. Book 5, chapter 1. Book 5, chapter 1. And I want you to go to paragraph 28.
Chapter 1.
Start at whoever's reading, start at sentence 115. It's chapter book 5, chapter 1, paragraph 28. And sentence 115. Yeah. Yeah.
115?
Yeah.
Okay. The Antiquities of the Jews.
Book 5.
Book 5.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
Paragraph 28.
Paragraph 28.
Sentence 115.
Sentence 115.
Read that.
So Joshua, after that, dissolved this great assembly of the people and sent them to their own inheritance, while he himself lived in Shechem.
Go ahead.
But in the 20th year after this, he was very old. He sent for those of the greatest dignity in the several cities with those in authority in the Senate, and as many of the common people as could be present. And when they were come, he put them in mind of all the benefits the Most High had bestowed on them, which could not but be a great many, since from a low estate they were advanced to so great a degree of glory and plenty.
He says, and when they were come, he put them in mind of all the benefits the Most High had bestowed on them, which could not be, it says, which could not but be a great many, since from a low estate they were advanced to so great a degree of glory and plenty. What he was trying to remind the children of Israel is, look at where you came from. You came out of Egypt wandering homeless and living in tents and pop-up tents in the desert to having nothing. And look at where the Most High got you through, inheriting the land of Canaan, which flowed with milk and honey. Look at where the Most High brought you from. He brought you from nothing, and now he put you on a pedestal. He said, don't forget that. Don't forget where the Most High placed you. Read on.
And exhorted them to take notice of the intentions of the Most High.
He says, pay attention of what the Most High was trying, what he was doing with you as he was taking you through the wilderness. He was teaching you to learn how to be appreciative of your situation and have a positive outlook at your circumstance to have so that you could develop trust in the Most High. Read on.
Which had been so gracious towards them, and told them that the deity,
which is the Most High, go ahead,
would continue their friend.
He says the Most High would always continue to be your friend.
Wow.
This is a way that, or something that you can do to where you can have the Most High always available to you as a friend. This is what Joshua is reminding the children of Israel of. This is how you keep the Most High as your friend. Read on.
By nothing else but their piety.
He says by nothing else, by your what?
Piety.
He says the way you can have the Most High accessible as a friend at all times is how you execute piety. What is piety? Write this down. Definition of piety.
Piety, 1828 Webster. Piety. Piety is in practice.
It's what?
In practice.
Okay, first, piety is what? Piety in principle is a veneration or reverence of the supreme being. So the idea of piety is a respect of the Most High. But piety also as something that can be done in action. How do you execute piety? Now, this is the second part. How do you respect the Most High? How do you look at the Most High? How can you make the Most High happy? How can you please the Most High? Because just respecting him or saying you respect him is not enough. That's not the full definition of piety. Piety is also about an execution. So how do you execute piety? Read that again.
Piety in practice is.
In practice. To perform piety is what?
The exercise.
The what?
The exercise.
Of what?
Of these affections. In obedience.
In what?
In obedience.
How can any man, woman, or child show the Most High that they respect him?
Obedience.
How can any man, woman, or child show the Most High that they love him?
Obedience.
What's the only thing you can really do to please the Most High?
Obedience.
That's how you show the Most High that you love him. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't come down. It doesn't come down to your situation. I can only love the Most High if he made my situation good. I only love the Most High when he blesses me with things. I only love the Most High when he hears my prayers. Do you know how to follow the Most High and be obedient to the Most High regardless of your circumstance?
God.
Because if you do, then you know how to be content. Because ultimately, that's the only way you can have a friendship with the Most High is in practice to be what?
It says the exercise of these affections in obedience to his will
Is to obey his what?
his will
And what else?
and devotion to his service.
And be devoted to his what?
Service.
So the only way that you can show the Most High piety, which Joshua said, if you do piety, you will always be a friend of the Most High. He will always change your circumstance for the better. He will always be with you. Is if you learn how to bypass how you feel, put down how you feel, based on your condition, and learn how to follow the Most High and be devoted to what?
His service.
And be devoted to his service, not your service.
Oh, true.
It's not about your service. It's not about what you do. It's about what you do for the Most High. And the only way that a person can, in practice, execute piety, they have to be content on what the Most High got them going through. And if I can do this, I always have the Most High as my friend. This is what Joshua, before he died, was begging the children of Israel to have. Won't you learn how to be obedient and devote yourself, have allegiance, be devoted, have allegiance and loyalty to the Most High, even over your own pleasure, even over the own satisfaction of your condition. Can someone do that? If you can do that, the Most High is with you at all times. That's what Joshua was summing up in a nutshell. Learn how to follow, man. A lot of people don't know how to follow. Because as soon as the situation gets uncomfortable, they go. They fly. They go on with the wind. Now they have a change of heart.
And now they're going to make bad decisions.
Now they're going to make bad decisions.
Couple of scripture real quick.
Please.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 27.
Solomon, chapter 7, verse 27.
And we're still in the
Josephus,
right?
Yeah.
I'm not leaving there. Just a side note. Read on.
7 and 27.
You go to 26. It's cool.
Okay, 26. It says, "For she is the brightness of the everlasting light."
So spirit is the brightness or intelligence of the everlasting light. That light, that the intelligence of God. Right? Read.
The unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High.
Wisdom is the reflection of God. I'm reflecting God in my decision making, in my wisdom. Read.
And the image of his goodness.
And based on my wisdom and the decisions I make by obeying elders, it shows the Most High's goodness because I get a good result in the end because I made the right decision. Read on.
And being but one.
Being but one. Read.
She can do all things.
Read on.
And remaining in herself.
Read on.
She maketh all things new.
Read on.
And in all ages.
In all what?
Ages.
All time periods, including this modern day time period. Information age, right? Read.
Entering into holy souls.
So wisdom will enter into a holy, the word holy meaning true, separate, or sincere soul. So in all time periods, doesn't matter what time period it is, we're talking about the Old Testament. We're talking about the Josephus time period. We're talking about this time period, right? Piety is still a necessity. Read.
She maketh them friends of the Most High.
She maketh them friends of who?
The Most High.
So your ability to follow wisdom, which comes from your teachers, elders, and the scriptures, and your obedience, this is what makes you a friend of God. What makes you a friend of God is your ability to follow wisdom. Read.
And prophets.
And prophets. So you become a friend and a prophet of God by the caliber of how much you give yourself to the yielding of yourself to decision making that's spiritual, that's biblical, that's righteous, that's the perspective of God based on his wisdom.
Finish that in Josephus.
Come. And told them that the deity would continue their
Yeah, you
their
got it.
friend
Yeah, go ahead.
by nothing else but their piety.
He says, by nothing else by their piety, which we read the definition. It's something that you do in practice, basically in obedience and loyalty and devotion to the Most High service. How much you give yourself to his service, not your service. Read on.
And that it was proper for him, now that he was about to depart out of this life, to leave such admonition
To leave such admonition, which was advice. Go ahead.
to them.
He said, that's the best. Joshua said, this is the best advice I can leave the children of Israel. Is what it takes to always have the Most High with you. He said, that's the best advice I can leave. Wow. Read on.
And he desired that they would keep in memory this, his exhortation.
He said, man, I beg you that you never forget this. I beg that you never forget what it takes to be the Most High's friend. Read on.
Exhortation to them.
Stop right there. Let that go. Now go back to where we were in. Give me. No, we was in 1 Timothy 6 and 9. Read 1 Timothy 6 and 9.
1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 9. Reads, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare.
It's a snare, man. That's why if you too busy chasing what makes you comfortable, you'll be caught into a snare. Read on.
And into many foolish and hurtful lusts,
Read on.
which drown men in destruction.
And how are men drowned in destruction? Go to Ecclesiastes chapter 14 verse 9. Ecclesiastes in the Apocrypha chapter 14 verse 9. How are men drowned in destruction? How do I drown myself in destruction?
Wow. That's crazy, bro.
Yes, sir.
Ecclesiastes chapter 14, verse 9. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied
Wow.
with his portion.
It says, how do I drown myself?
I'm never satisfied with my portion.
I know.
Damn, man.
This is how I drown myself in destruction and perdition. Perdition is hell. This is how I self-destruct. The way I self-destruct or I destroy myself is that I never am satisfied at what the Most High gives me. I'm never satisfied at the condition that I'm in. I'm never satisfied with the elders that the Most High have given me to follow, to execute, to learn how to execute his service. This is how I drown myself. Because my eyes are what?
Not satisfied with his portion.
Because I'm never happy at what the Most High gives me. So I'm always looking for more. There has to be a better life than just being a servant of the Most High. There has to be a better life than just reading the Bible. There got to be a better life out there. Because this is not good enough for me. I'm not happy with this life. This is how I drown myself. Read on.
And the iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul.
And this is how I drown myself and I dry my own soul up. Because now I'm chasing nothing. Now finish that in Timothy.
Read 9.
No, verse 10.
Verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all evil.
And why am I never satisfied? Because my money that I got, it's not good enough. Gotta have more. It's got to be more out there.
It's not.
More money, more money,
More
more
money.
money.
It's
Got to
not.
go Damon Wayans on.
It's not.
No, let it go. How do I drown myself? I'm looking for what? I'm looking for more money. More money brings more opportunity. More opportunity brings more freedom. More freedom means more choices. More choices mean more selection. More selection means more pleasure.
I got the bag.
I got the bag, man. You get the bag, you drop it and fumble it. You know what I'm saying? So what he's showing is this is how you drown yourself. This is how you self-destruct, because you're never satisfied with whatever the Most High has given you. What he gave you was necessary for survival. You weren't going to die with what the Most High was giving you in his handout, because ultimately it wasn't about the money. It was learning how to be content with where you are. It was about learning how to be satisfied on where you are. But this is how men self-destruct. They're always looking for new opportunity because they're never satisfied on where the Most High got them at. Read on.
Which while some coveted after.
It says while some did what?
Coveted after.
Because you know what? They didn't let it go off their mind. It was always on their mind. I couldn't let the thought of where I was at, it was not good enough. So I kept on looking at other opportunities. Never satisfied at where I'm at. So I was always coveting and looking for other advantages or more pleasure. Read on.
They have erred from the faith.
They do what?
They have erred from the faith.
The pursuit of money does what?
Have erred from the faith.
It makes you err from the faith. It makes you go astray. You can get more money, but more money doesn't equate more faith. That's the problem. Just because you got more money don't mean you have more faith. And that's why Christ sent his disciples out broke. No money, no purse, no gold, no silver, no shoes, no coats, no staff. He sent them out with nothing, because it wasn't about the money. It was about developing faith and learning how to follow and let the Most High take care of you while you're executing his will. Because as long as you're doing the will of the Most High, he will keep sustaining you. That was the lesson. More money don't mean more faith. But more obedience, more piety, and more contentment is great gain. That's the lesson that he was trying to explain to him. Read on.
And pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
And this is where life starts to get crappy, man. You know what? This is how Lot's wife got pierced through with many sorrows. Just wasn't satisfied on where she was at. That's why it's so. Yes, sir.
Is it the same with Job's wife?
It's the same with Job's wife. She.
Because
you could.
Curse God so you get better.
Right. So yeah, she was saying curse God and die. She was just saying, why are you trying to hold on to your integrity? And why are you trying to stay loyal to God when he took your land, when he took your children, when he burnt down your house, and you're stricken with boils? So look at your condition. Why are you still trying to hold on to your faith? Oh, she was saying she didn't have a spiritual perspective. If it was her, she would have been cursed the Most High. She would have been saying, man, this ain't worth it. The hell with you, God, and give up the ghost. You know what I'm saying? It would have been over. We would have never read the book of Job if it was up to her. Book of Job would have had 2 chapters. First and second chapter. Read, brother. It wouldn't be 41, 42 chapters in Job. It wouldn't existed, man. Thank the Most High that it was Job, because we get a whole lot more chapters and understanding because of his faithfulness and commitment to the Most High, even though his situation was bad, man. That's why when you look at the condition, the trials of Job, his condition was bad, and he still held on to his faith. That is content, because all he cared about was his relationship with the Most High. Titus chapter 2 verse 9. Great point though. Titus chapter 2 verse 9. Yeah, let's go with Timothy. Titus chapter 2 verse 9. Whoa, wait a minute. You in, what verse you on in Titus? I mean, no, let it go. Titus chapter 2 verse 9.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 9.
Everybody got it?
Pretty banging on it.
Oh man.
That's all I was looking for. But that's fine.
Yeah. Oh man, that's heavy, bro. What's that?
That's Tobit 4 and 21.
We're gonna read that. We're gonna read that in just a few minutes. But, you know what I'm saying? Hold that joint. Man.
You said that it's good to be rich. That man have not said that. I couldn't find
Yeah.
it.
Chapter
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
and verse 9.
Read that.
Exhort servants to be obedient
That-
unto their own masters.
That's why even Joshua, before he died, was exhorting Israel into doing whatever it took to please the Most High and to keep the Most High as your friend. And how did he say you keep the Most High as your friend? He says you learn how to reverence the Most High in piety. Piety should be executed in your obedience and your ability to be devoted to his service. He says, so as elders, he said, our job is to teach men how to do what? Read that again.
Exhort servants to be obedient unto their own masters.
That's why we're having such a class, so that the students or the disciples of Christ may learn how to look at their elders the right way, because their elders are training you to show you how to have the Most High at your disposal at all times, to have the Most High by your side at all times, to have the Most High at your advantage at all times. That's why I said you need to listen to your elders. They'll tell you when it's time to get wealthy. They'll tell you when it's time to go for gold and silver. They'll tell you when it's time to get cattle and oxen and sheep and lands and vineyards. They'll let you know when it's time. And just like Christ let the disciples know, go out here and teach this word. The kingdom of heaven is at hand, but don't take no gold with you. Then Christ came back and said, if you got a purse, take it with you. The elders will give you the time. Not for you to make that decision. It's not for you. That's the understanding. You learn how to follow, be obedient, learn how to be in order, learn how to trust. Then,
faith.
Yeah, have some faith. Then the Most High will be with you. Read on.
And to please them well in all things, not answering again.
Read on.
And
Not saying but. You learn how to follow without a but being involved. You can receive instruction without saying, okay, I hear what you're saying, but okay, I hear what you're saying, but how are we going to pay the phone bill? I hear what you're saying, but how are we supposed to pay this credit card off? I hear what you're saying, but there's always a but. You know what he's saying? You got to learn how to be in order with no buts, no ifs, ands, or buts. You got to learn how to receive instruction and do what you're told and not say a damn thing. That's what he's saying how servants should be. Learn how to follow and trust that the Most High is working with those elders. He's working through those elders to get you where you need to be in your life. Read on.
verse 10, not purloining.
Not what?
Purloining.
You know what the definition of purloining is? Literally, write this down. Purloining. We're in Titus chapter 2 and verse 10. Purloining. Literally, to take or carry away for oneself. You know what he's trying to say? Teach young people not how to do everything for themselves and to be about themselves. That's what he's telling young people. Don't be about yourself. Because everybody wants control. They want control because they're not content. I'm not satisfied with my condition. So what do I want to do? I want to purloin.
Purloin. Get your purloin on.
Get your purloin on. You know what I'm saying?
Get it?
Yeah, we're going to make a song out of purloining, man. Get it how you live. Get it how you live.
Purloin with it.
Purloin with it. You know what I'm saying? What we want to do is go for self. You got to teach servants how to not go for self. That was Gehazi's problem. That's why Gehazi got stricken with leprosy, and that's why his family got stricken with leprosy. His children got stricken for leprosy because he went for self. He said, "This is the mistake that we make when we're learning how to serve the Most High. You got to stop learning how to go for self. That's purloining." Read on.
Not purloining but showing all good fidelity.
Fidelity. Definition of fidelity. Faithful. I like this definition. Definition of fidelity. Careful and exact observance of duty or performance of obligation.
Wow, that's banging that.
I'm gonna go and get
That's the 18 or what?
yeah, I'm gonna get the big definition because this ain't good enough. I'm gonna get the long one. Read 1, 2, and 3.
Fidelity.
We're gonna read all 3 definitions of fidelity. Not purloining means to go for self. Don't be selfish and do what you think you got to do because you're not content on your circumstance. But show fidelity, which means what?
Fidelity, faithfulness, careful and exact observance of duty.
It says careful
Wow.
observance, faithful and careful and exact observance. That means I have to learn how to follow to the T.
Wow, that's banging.
I gotta follow to the T. I have to follow every single thing my elder tells me to do. Can you learn how to do that? Do you have that kind of fidelity to where you can execute every single order of your elder exactly the way he gave it to you? Who can do that? Yes, sir.
I have a definition. Accuracy in details.
Accuracy in details. You know when there's no accuracy in detail? Because I try to fit my mind into the equation. That's when we deviate from instruction. I heard what you told me to do, but I had another decision. I wanted to do what I wanted to do and still say I'm executing your will. No, you're not executing the will of your master then. If you added in your own little equation and you added in your opinion on how things should be done, then you're not following to that detail. You're not careful and exact in observance of duty or performance of obligations. Read on.
It says, we expect fidelity in public minister, an agent or trustee, or in domestic servant, or in a friend.
Go ahead. I'm expecting this out of my friends. Go ahead.
The best security for the
read verse
point 2.
Point 2.
Firm adherence.
Firm adherence. Go ahead.
To a person or party with which one is united.
If I'm united, if I'm married, if I'm in a family, if I'm in a church body, if I'm in a camp or a group of brothers, if I'm at the brother's house, I have to learn how to be firm and what? Firm adherence to what?
To a person or party with which one is united or to which one is bound.
So I'm bound to my brothers. I'm bound to my family. I'm bound to the body of Christ. I'm bound to my husband.
Loyalty.
It's another definition of fidelity is what?
Loyalty.
I only can be classified as loyal if I know how to strictly follow everything I'm told to exact details.
With contentment.
With contentment, then I can say I'm loyal. Definition number 3.
Observance of the marriage covenant.
Because it's in every aspect of life. It doesn't matter if it's in a body, a church. Doesn't matter if it's in a group of friends. It doesn't matter if it's a husband and wife. It doesn't matter if it's a husband and wife or your own personal family. He said observance of the marriage covenant. Go ahead.
As the fidelity of a husband or wife.
Go ahead.
4. Honesty, veracity, adherence to truth.
Adherence to what?
To truth.
So I have to learn how to use fidelity, which is honesty. I got to learn how to be honest to the marriage covenant, to the bond that unites us. I have to learn how to follow details exactly to how it was given to me. Instruction. This is what fidelity is. So instead of purloining, which means to go for self and make my own decisions, I have to learn how to lock myself into the marriage by being obedient to the instructions given to me. That's what fidelity is. This is what in the book of Titus that he's given us as what it means to be godly. Read on.
Or is it safe to say that either I'm married to the scriptures or I'm married to the world? Because I want to adhere to every detail the world has for me.
Right.
Whatever detail the world wants me to follow, or the new trend, or the new wave, or this is what we're doing now. If I'm locking in and following those instructions, then that is who I'm married to. I'm married to the world.
Mm-hmm. I'm loyal to the world.
I'm loyal to the world. I'm bound to the world.
Read on.
but showing all good fidelity, that they may adorn the doctrine of the Most High, our Savior, in all things.
This is how you put on. To adorn means to put on or to wear. This is how you wear Christ. This is how you wear Christ as a garment. This is how you put on the Most High in Christ, is that you learn how to be obedient to the masters that the Most High has given you, and you can execute their will with exact detail. Now you're putting on Christ. Now you're wearing Christ as a garment. That's what it means to purloin. Because if I'm not in that mentality, it puts you in a different mind frame. Go to Joshua chapter 7 verse 20. It puts you in it puts you in. If I'm not I'm a purloiner if I have a different mind frame.
Come.
If I'm not loyal to the brothers.
One of the first purloiners right
It's one
here.
of the first purloiners, man.
It's OG.
Joshua 7:20.
Yes, sir.
Joshua chapter 7 verse 20. And Achan answered Joshua and said, Indeed, I have sinned against the Lord power of Israel, and thus have I done.
He says, and this is how I sinned against the Most High. Read on.
When I saw among the spoils.
Now it was told to the children of Israel that was battling in war that once the Most High delivers the victory to them, do not take any of the spoils or the riches that came from the battle. Dedicate the riches to the temple. Bring it to the temple. Don't go for self.
No purloining.
No purloining. No purloining. Don't go for self. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. Don't do what you think is right.
God.
Give the spoils and the wealth and the riches to the church. Bring it to the temple. Read on.
A goodly Babylonish garment.
A goodly Babylonish garment. Go ahead.
And 200 shekels of silver.
But you know what? I like the Josephus in this too, because it gives you the details of how the garment looked. And it also gives you the mind frame that Achan was in when he decided to make this decision. Read on.
It says, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight.
Go ahead.
Then I coveted them.
He said, then I what?
Coveted them.
Then I coveted them because I was not content on my situation. Yes, we went to war, but the reason why I'm going for self, because I'm not happy at my condition, because I'm not content with my condition. That's why when I saw this garment with this money, with this wealth, I hid it. Now read this in the Josephus. Go to page 128 in the Josephus. Book 5, chapter 1, paragraph 9.
What page?
Page 128.
128.
Book what?
Josephus, book 5, chapter 1, paragraph 9.
Paragraph what?
9.
9. Paragraph 9.
Read that. If you don't have one, just listen. Write it down.
From the death of Moses
No.
to
On page 128. And
page
you're,
1.
yeah, you're in paragraph 9.
Okay. Paragraph 8.
Are you at the right? Do you have the right Josephus that we got?
Yeah. It's not,
No.
No, that's not. It's not numbered the same. It's not this one. Yeah, it's not.
128.
Yeah, it's not. It's book 5, chapter 1. Book 5, chapter. No, I'm sorry. Not. Yeah, it's chapter 1. It's chapter 1, paragraph 9.
Line 32.
Yes, exactly.
Page 128.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Page 128. Read that.
Reads. Where it say 9 or paragraph? I mean, not
Yeah, where it says, now there was an immense.
Okay, got it.
Now there was an immense quantity of silver and gold.
Read on. Now, this is what happens when they killed all their enemies and there was a lot of gold and silver laying around. Read on.
And besides, those of brass also that was heaped together out of the city when it was taken. No one transgressing the decree.
The decree was that nobody go for self. All the spoils go to the church. Read on.
Nor purloining.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We reading that word again. To take away for oneself, because that's what a purloiner is. Somebody who's self-driven, who's only thinking about themselves and their advantages and their come up. That's all I care about is me coming up. I'm supposed to be united in the body, in the group. But I care about me personally coming up. That's why I said the decree was no purloining. Read on.
For their own peculiar advantage.
So to purloin is for me to do something that executes my own peculiar advantage. It's about me coming up. But I'm supposed to be dedicated and devoted to the body. I'm supposed to be dedicated and devoted to the marriage. But it's about me coming up. That's purloining. Read on.
Which spoils Joshua delivered to the priests.
And Joshua gave the spoils to who?
To the priests.
Read on.
To be laid up among their treasures, and thus did Jericho perish.
Go ahead.
But there was one Achar.
Go ahead. Achan. Go ahead.
The son of Charmai, the son of Zebedias, of the tribe of Judah.
Oh man, he had to be a Judite, man.
Get your purloin on.
Yeah. It's a damn Judite.
Flex.
Judah flexing on him. You know what I'm saying?
All I wanted to do was be a bottle.
All I want to do is win. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, I want to win. Go ahead.
Who, finding a royal garment woven entirely of gold.
He said this garment was fly.
It was gold. It wasn't gold. It was gold.
Fly. He said it was woven entirely with gold. Come on, man. All gold, everything, man. Trinidad James.
You know I can't let this go.
Gold all of my watch. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And a piece of gold that weighted 200 shekels, and thinking it a very hard case.
Now check out Achan's mind frame or the justification that he used to take this gold. Look at the man's mind frame. What was his mind? Read on.
That what spoils he by running some hazard?
He said, man, I put my life on the line.
Paid in full.
I deserve this. I put my life on the line. I damn near died, man, in this war. I damn near died, man. This is bad, bro. I barely came out of this alive, man. He said, I ran up on some hazard, man. I almost died. Read on.
Had found. He must give away and offer it to the Most High.
You mean to tell me the things that I worked so hard for and damn near died for, I got to give this to the Most High? What about me? What about me? I risked my life for this. I put my life on the line for this.
Oh.
You mean to tell me I got to go out there damn near die and then all the spoils I got to turn it in? Finders keepers.
Yeah.
Losers weepers. Read on.
Who stood in no need of it, while he that wanted it must go without it.
He said the Most High don't need this money. What the Most High gonna do with this gold? The Most High's not gonna wear this garment. He can't fit it. Say his size, man.
Mm-hmm.
He said, what the Most High gonna do with this? But I can use it.
Just my size.
You know what that is? I'm gonna tell you this. That's the same thing as a wife when she washing her husband's clothes. What's she gonna find in the pockets? She's gonna find some change, right? You're gonna find some change, right? That's when the battle starts, right there. That's when the battle starts. You know why? Because he fell asleep. He took his clothes off. She washing clothes. He didn't check his pockets all the way. He didn't go all the way down deep into the pocket. It was some 50s in there. No, ain't no 50 cents. You know what? That's when the battle starts.
It's a grant in there.
Because you know what a wife got to do? She got to make a decision. That decision gets real sweaty at that laundromat in front of that washing machine. It's a real sweaty decision. You know what? I've been suffering. I've been working hard. Hey, I work hard too. It is our money. It is our money. It was a blessing that it was a blessing that I found this. You know what? I got to make a decision now. Do I purloin? Do I really call him and say, you know what? You know you left $200 in your pants, right? That's a hard decision. That's a tough one right there, bro. Especially when money low. And then you know what her thought is? Well, I'll buy food for the whole house. I'll buy food for the whole house. We're gonna eat off of it anyway.
Yeah.
But you know what fidelity means? Fidelity is the execution of what's truthful. So fidelity would be what? You know what? Although I found it, although it's about us, do I still tell him? Do I still tell him that he had $200 in his pocket when I washed his clothes? Sometimes you get a check in the mail. It's a refund check. Got to make that same decision. I'm telling you, in a marriage, them decisions happen all the time. Do I tell him that there was $1,500 on a recall, automotive recall, or the insurance canceled and they sent back a retribution check?
Something.
Do I tell him we got $1,500? I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. And you got and a wife has to make that decision. Are we up? Or am I just gonna spin a little bit? He ain't gonna know. He ain't need it. If he needed it, he would have used it. He would have said something. But what is the Most High? Matter of fact, go to Deuteronomy chapter 22. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 22. Read verse 1 through 4. Yep. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 1 through 4. Those are common things that we don't think about. But when fidelity is on the line, you have to be truthful to exact detail. Yeah, but after. Yeah, but it actually don't say the same thing. So let's go to 22, 1 through 4.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 1.
Let me get it. Go ahead.
It says, "Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray."
It said you ain't supposed to look at what belongs to somebody else, and I just let it go astray. Read on.
"And hide thyself from them."
And do what?
Hide thyself from them.
And act like I didn't see it. Act like I didn't witness it. If I saw it, if I saw $200 in his pocket, I can't pretend I didn't see it. I can't pretend, man. Hey, you dropped it. You didn't need it anyway. Read on.
"Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother."
It says, "Thou shalt in any case," no matter what the situation is, whether you found it in the laundry or the check came in the mail, no matter what the case is, you're supposed to do what? If you're about fidelity and not purloining. Read on.
"In any case bring them again unto thy brother.
Read on.
And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee,
And if he ain't close to you, he ain't around you, or in your presence. Read on.
or if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it."
It said you shall hold it until what?
Thy brother seek after
So
it.
you supposed to use it?
No,
You supposed to say, you know what? I'm going to spend it for both of us?
no.
You supposed to just hold on to it and declare it until your brother says what?
Hey man, I've been looking for this.
Hey man, did I leave some money in my pants? I could have swear I had $200.
The black ones.
Yeah,
I don't know, baby.
With the broken
And then you know what she scratching her head like, what $200? You gonna be in a situation. Read on.
It says, "And thou shalt restore it to him again."
So is it finders, keepers, losers, weepers in the Bible? Is that such a thing? Who created that? Man made that. Man made up that rule. But that's not biblical. It's not biblical, man. Ain't such thing as finders, keepers, losers, weepers. If it didn't belong to you, you give it back. That's what fidelity is all about. But a purloiner is gonna go for self when he see that opportunity. When things fall in my hand like that, oh, it was a blessing from above. That's a purloiner. This is an opportunity. That's enough of that. Go back to where we was at in Josephus.
Kind. Says, read. Who stood in no need of it,
He said, the Most High don't need this money. He don't need this garment. Read on.
while he that wanted it must go without
He
it.
says, I'm the one that want it, and you mean to tell me I got to go without it? I could use this. I could put this to good use. Read on.
made a deep ditch in his own tent, and laid them up therein, as supposing he should not only be concealed from his fellow soldiers, but from the Most High himself also.
But a person that's a purloiner, that goes for self, not only are they discrediting the bond that they have with the brotherhood, they fellow soldiers, they fellow partner that they're unified with, but they're also doing this in concealment of who? Of the Most High. As if the Most High don't see what I'm doing. A lot of times that money that was left in those pants when you washing clothes, the Most High only allowed that to happen to see what was you going to do with it when you found it. Was you going to be loyal and show fidelity? Or was you going to say, nah, man, let me tell him. That's what being truthful is. That's what being content is. But this man is not content with his circumstance. I could use this money. I'm not content on where I'm at. So I'm going to go for self. Now let that go and go back to where we was at in Joshua.
Joshua chapter 7 and verse 21. It says, when I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonianish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight. Then I coveted them and took them. And behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent. And behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took him out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achaz the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his ox, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his asses, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had. And they brought them unto the valley of Achor. It says, and Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all Israel stoned him with stones, and burnt them with fire.
What was the punishment for this man concealing the truth?
And all Israel stoned him with stones.
What was the punishment for this man being a purloiner?
And all Israel stoned him with stones.
Who else? Read on.
And burned them with fire, after they had stoned them with stones.
That was his children, his oxen, his parents, his family, and everything that he possessed.
It shows the same principle. Once again, if I'm making a selfish decision because I break rank and I break understanding, I break the yoke, so to speak, what happens? Who gets affected?
Everyone else gets
the future generations.
Right.
It shows you twice in the scriptures. We showed you New Testament and we show you Old Testament. It's the same dynamic. When I decide to go for me, I don't know what I'm affecting.
I'm affected by future.
Let's go to Tobit 4 and 21. This is the advice of the Most High to truly solve the spirit of purloining, to solve the spirit of discontentment. This is really the moral to the understanding of the story.
Tobit chapter 4 and verse 21. And fear not, my son.
So it says fear not. Why does it say fear? Because a lot of times we end up worrying and we stress about tomorrow, what's not coming. We always go to Matthew 6:33 and show the scripture about not worrying about the future, things you can't control. But what do people do? We're so focused on what we can't see or what we do, or the uncertainty of not being in control. We live in the spirit of fear. So scriptures tell us the first thing trying to do is pull you away from the spirit of fear. Let go of the fear. Fear not. Read.
That we are made poor.
Don't fear if your situation, if you were abound and now you're abased, or if you're abased and now you have to abound. Don't fear the change in situation. Don't fear that you're made poor. Poor could be financial. Poor could be in control.
Or health.
Poor could be in health. Poor could be in time. Poor could be in attention. Some people are rich in attention. Everybody's looking at me all day. Fear not that you don't get to get that attention no more. Read.
For thou hast much wealth.
For that has much what?
Much wealth.
But what wealth do we have? Read.
If thou fear the Most High.
You have much wealth. Spiritual wealth. Protection. Wisdom. Understanding. If thou fear who?
The Most High.
Not those uncertain riches that we trust in, because we're physical people and we're carnal. We want to touch things, and we want to just, if I can touch, I can control it, I can see it, then it's real. Read.
And depart from all sin.
Depart from all what?
All sin.
Sin's missing the mark. I mean, I'm not meeting the standard of God. What's causing me not to meet the standard of the Father? What's causing me to transgress the law of the Father? What's causing me to not live up to the fruits of the Spirit? Read.
And do that which is pleasing in his sight.
So read from the top, the whole thing.
Tobit chapter 4 and verse 21.
Uh-huh.
And fear not, my son, that we are made poor.
Don't fear we're made poor. Read.
For thou hast much wealth, if thou fear the Most High, and depart from all sin, and do that which is pleasing in his sight.
So when you look at Lazarus, there was the rich man, there was Lazarus. The rich man didn't know that he was naked. In the eyes of God, the rich man was naked and destitute. He had nothing. He was wretched.
He was shallow.
He was shallow. But that's how he looked in the eyes of God. But in the eyes of men, the rich man had power. He had wealth. He had linen outfits. He had purple on. He had respect. In the eyes of men, he had respect and wealth and glory. But God saw a spirit and said, thou art wretched and naked. But whereas Lazarus was this beggar man, he was begging. The dogs were licking his wounds. He was in the position to die because he was also of ill health. In the eyes of God, he was a wealthy man. He was a rich man. So which one do you choose? Do you choose to be wealthy in the eyes of men or wealthy in the eyes of God? Read the scripture from the top again, the whole scripture.
Tobit chapter 4 and verse 21. And fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for thou hast much wealth, if thou fear the Most High.
If I consider the Most High, because fear also means to consider.
And also, if I'm content with where the Most High has me at.
Come.
If I'm content on where the Most High has me at, then I'm not worried about my condition. I shouldn't worry about my condition. And also being content, like the whole class is about being content.
Come.
But also being content with the judgment or the determination that the elders or my masters give me.
The current.
Because a lot of times we're not content with the decisions of our elders, the judgment or the punishments of our elders. We think that, oh, you're being overboard. Oh, you're being too extreme. Why are you setting this standard over my head? You're trying to restrict my movements and restrict and limit my functionality and my liberty. You're being too extreme. And what happens when we don't accept our elders' correction? Because that's why even in Timothy, when we started this, read that right quick in 1 Timothy 6 and 1. Mm-hmm. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 1. We're getting ready to finish this class up. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 1.
Come. 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 1. Let as many servants as are under the yoke count their own masters worthy of all honor.
He says, let the servants under the yoke count their masters worthy of what?
All honor.
Even if they correct me, even if they come up with a judgment or a punishment for me, I still got to respect that punishment and judgment. And I should be content with that. If I'm not content with that, I'll be like one of these characters in the Bible that we learn not to be like. Go to Genesis chapter 4. Go to Genesis chapter 4 and read verse 13.
Genesis chapter 4 and verse 13.
Because remember, content, definition, it says, literally held, contained within limits, hence quiet, not disturbed, having a mind at peace, easy, satisfied, so as not to repine, object, or oppose. All right, read that.
Genesis chapter 4 verse 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
Now this man just killed his brother. Normally it would be an eye for an eye. Normally it'd be a life for a life. That's what it normally was in the Old Testament. A tooth for a tooth. This man killed his brother and didn't die. And still say what?
Said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
Man, you're not even looking at the fact that you're still living. You're not even looking at the fact that the Most High spared you. He could have burnt your soul up. You know what I'm saying? But he was unaccepting. He was unaccepting of the Most. He wasn't content with the judgment. What was the judgment? Read on.
Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid.
And from what?
Shall I be hid.
And from
The
what?
face.
Oh. Face.
From thy face shall I be hid.
Face.
Face.
You saying faith?
Well, I meant.
I know.
Can you say it clear, sir, please?
Yeah.
Please, bro.
Face. He said, and so he said, I'm disconnected from your face. This is too much for me. He wasn't content with the judgment. He wasn't satisfied with the punishment that the Most High gave him. But why did he even let him live? Why did the Most High even let Cain live after he just slew his brother and killed his brother? Why did he even let him live? Go to Josephus. Josephus chapter book 1, chapter 1, paragraph 2. Book 1, chapter 2, paragraph 2.
So he said book 1.
Page 31.
Okay.
Page 31, chapter 2, paragraph 2.
Okay, 2 and 2. Okay. When Cain traveled?
Yep, perfect.
Be ready.
Go ahead.
Okay, it says, and when Cain had traveled over many countries, he with his wife built a city named Nod, which is a place so called, and there he settled his abode, where also he had children. However, he did not accept of his punishment.
He didn't, same thing we just read. He wasn't content. He wasn't content with his punishment. So even if you got a determination or punishment from your master, you have to learn how to be content with that judgment. You have to learn to be okay with whatever determination your husband come up with, your brothers come up with, the elder sisters come up with. You got to be okay with it. That's also part of being content. Matter of fact, I got to read definition of content one more time. One more time. Because there's something very critical in this definition that we're about to read. Content. You got it, don't you? I get it. Hold on, I got it right. Yep, read that right there.
The very point 1?
Yeah, just read the literally held.
Okay.
Yeah, read that right there.
Content, literally held, contained within limits.
So if your elders put a limit over you, they put a judgment and a determination of a just punishment, you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with whatever punishment that your elders come up with. It's not like they're going to be overboard. They shouldn't be overboard. Because they also have a master in heaven. There should be some balance. Read on.
Hence, quiet, not disturbed.
Go ahead.
Having a mind at peace, easy, satisfied, so as not to repine.
So as not to repine. There's a spirit that comes on you if you don't accept the judgment of your elders. The spirit is called rapine. Read on. And we're going to break that down. Read on.
It says, however, he did not accept his punishment in order to amend it.
So now, the Most High didn't kill him because he was giving him opportunity for what? Amendment. To change. That was the only reason why the Most High didn't kill him. He gave him time to actually feel bad about killing his brother. But was he content with the judgment? No. Did he even look at the fact that I'm still living, and the reason why I'm still alive is because the Most High has given me opportunity to amend my ways or to make up for what I've done wrong? No. All he's looking at is, this is too much. This is overboard. This is extreme. I'm not content with your judgment. Read on. I don't accept this. Read on.
But to increase his wickedness.
So when a person is not content with their elder's decision, with their master's decision, what do?
Increase wickedness.
They increase in wickedness. I only become more wicked when I become more disobedient to my elder's instruction. Now I become Cain. Now I got the spirit of this guy on me. Read on.
For he only aimed to procure everything.
Now I become super selfish. Now I become a super purloiner.
Come.
Now I'm extreme in my ways and my selfishness. Read on.
It says to procure everything that was his own bodily pleasure.
Now I'm really chasing after me. Now I'm really going for self. The minute I deny or I'm not content with my elder's decision or judgment, now I'm going extremely about my pleasure and seeking what's good for me. I deny them. I deny their instruction. I deny their judgment. That's why we go from negative to super negative. Extremely negative. Now I'm compounding sin on top of sin. I was already off by purloining. Now I reject the punishment and the judgment of my elders. Now I'm really going left field. Read on.
It says, though it obliged him to be injurious to his neighbor.
It said it obliged him.
He felt good about it.
It felt good about hurting other people because he was not accepting his punishment. He became extremely, extremely selfish and getting satisfaction out of punishing other people. Read on.
He, augmented his household substance with much wealth.
Go ahead.
By raping.
By what?
Raping.
So if I'm not content, one of the definitions of content is satisfied as to not what?
Repine.
As to not repine or raping, however you want to pronounce it.
Repine, raping.
Repine. Let's say repine.
Repine.
So if I'm content or satisfied with the Most High has given me, I don't become this rapine guy.
Taking.
To take by force, which is the root of the word rape. This is the spirit that comes upon me when I'm not content at where the Most High has me at. If I can't get what I want, I start taking what I want. Now I got the spirit of Cain on me because I'm not content. Read on.
And violent.
And I become what?
Violent.
Now I become violent. Now I'm violent. There's one scripture. One more verse. And I lost it.
No, Genesis.
No, go back to Genesis and finish that. There's one more thing that I want to read. Let go of Josephus.
Can I have a good heart to the Lord? Have a rich and poor, good heart to the Lord?
No,
Let go First Timothy 2, right?
yeah, let go. Finish that, and I'll find the scripture that I'm looking for. We're going to go ahead and end it with the scripture right here.
Okay. So finish Genesis.
1 John 3. I found it. 1 John chapter 3, verse 11. Finish that in Genesis. Read that.
Okay. Genesis chapter 4, verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him.
That's it. Now, he became violent. The spirit of rapine came on him because he was not content with the judgment of the Most High, the punishment of the Most High. So now because I can't get any happiness, I'm going to start taking my happiness. But in 1 John chapter 3, verse 11, it's the last verse. Somebody read this. 1 John chapter 3, verse 11.
1 John chapter 3 in verse 11.
Read verse 10.
Is it verse 10?
Yeah.
In verse 10. In this, the children of the Most High are manifest.
He said, this is how you know who the children of the Most High are. And go ahead.
And the children of the devil.
And this is how you know who the children of the devil. Read on.
Whosoever doeth not righteousness.
If I don't do righteousness, which means that I learn how to be content with my circumstance. So I don't start to drown myself with seditions and perdition. I don't start drowning myself with one bad decision on top of another. And I don't start to become selfish and going for self. And I don't start to become injurious to other people. Now I'm not operating the capacity of the child of the Most High. Because I'm not content in what he has to offer me. Read on.
Is not of the Most High.
Read on.
Neither he that loveth not his brother.
And ultimately, the reason why I learn how to be content is because the Most High is showing me how to love my brother. Because you know what it takes to love people? It takes a contentness at what they give you, at where they are, and what they demand from you. You have to be okay with it. You have to learn how to be okay with the people around you. That's what it takes to love your people. You got to be okay with them. You got to be okay with your elders. You got to be okay with your leaders, with your teachers. You got to be okay with them. Go ahead.
For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning,
Go ahead.
that we should love one another.
Because you know what? If I don't learn how to be content, I can never learn how to love. Being content and learning how to love go hand in hand. If I'm not content, I become a murderer. And I become a rapinist, a rapine guy.
Repine.
Read on.
Not as Cain.
Not as what?
Not as Cain,
Go ahead.
who was of that wicked one,
Read on.
and slew his brother.
Why?
And wherefore slew he him?
And why did Cain kill Abel? Go ahead.
Because his own works were evil.
Because he was not content with what the Most High was giving him. Not being content ultimately makes you a murderer. That's how dangerous not being content is. You go from one mistake on top of another until you become Cain. Read on.
And his brothers righteous.
So with that, we're going to go ahead and end the class. So there's even levels to being content. And there's levels to the punishments or the wickedness of the spirit that's not content. That means I'll eventually become a person to do anything to be happy. I'll do anything and everything to secure my happiness. Even if it takes killing my brother. I'm going to get what I want. That's how dangerous not being content is in the mind. So are there any questions? So we understand the class. All right. With that, we want to say shalom. The water for listening, tuning in.
Shalom.
Shalom. You have any questions? Put it on the line. Hopefully, on the thread. Hopefully, we can get to it. With that, we want to say shalom.
Shalom. Finish.
Yep.
And broadcast, right?